Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in.
Just watch me.
Hey, here's the best part about this. This is what happens. This is what happens is that now let's welcome everybody in because I turned on our audio so people can hear us now. So that's what's been going on. We've just been listening to music. Let me turn the music down. This is what happens when you kind of throw some stuff together. We've been
try to produce the show and be on the show.
Produce the show and but guess what? We're on. We're live now, so we're talking. So welcome to Madison Rugby Complex. We are here on the beautiful grounds in Cottage Grove, Wisconsin, ahead of the 2025 Club Sevens National Championship. This is where Americans are winners, baby, right? This is where we crown the champion of America, and we are pumped. And, of course, we've got these great cast of characters here with me. Gentlemen, now that the people can hear your voices, let's do this all over again. What do you say, Pago?
Are we on now?
Hold on. Are we on? Yeah, we can hear that. Yeah.
Nah, it's good to be back in Madison. It's my first time here. Haven't been.
So it's good to be back in Madison. Your first time?
Yeah. Nah, it's good to be back with you legends. It's been 2 years now since I've joined you guys for nationals, so it's good to be back. Looking forward to some games, some really good teams, and overall, I'm just here for good morals, good energy. Rubbing shoulders with some legends and some greats. So it's going to be a fun weekend ahead of us. So yeah.
It's good to have you back, man. It's good to see you back into the fold. This sevens is about to be crazy, though.
It will be.
A NAVless sevens is enough, but this is going to be a crazy one. And we can get into that in a second, but good to actually sit next to the rant, sit next to the legend himself, the double man, back-to-back MLR man, and Ginty doing next level things. So shout out to Grant, shout out to Jeff as well, man. This is going to be a good one.
I mean, doesn't it say something about the vibrancy of club rugby, right? We have a competitive sevens level tournament like this, both on the men's and women's sides. I mean, there are some teams that legitimately could upset the apple cart this weekend, and that's going to be super exciting to watch from this deck up here in Madison, Wisconsin. What a great setup they got here in Cottage Grove.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's one of the most important things that we got to really think about is that rugby is in some dark times, especially the last 2 weeks. But the one thing that has always survived and has always thrived is club rugby. And the heart of that is that this is the heart of the American game. This is where they play volunteers, the amount of thousands of countless hours of volunteer work that goes into putting on events like this, managing systems, competitions, eligibility, all those fun things that you got to get going, right? Wink, right? But club rugby, and I think the one thing that really ties all of this together and what really makes this a great American sport is that, Pago, you've obviously played at the highest levels, right? But every single one of us sitting right here has played at club rugby level. Yeah. And it's been an important part of our life. It's been something that we cared about, something that we love about. We've created some of our best friends, our best experience, and all of that through club rugby. So I know as Next Level Rugby, it's an honor to be able to just sit here, be involved in that. And, we got to thank one of the men. Speaking of that reunion, we're coming back. We'll touch on 2021. Club Sevens and living on an RV in a trailer.
22.
Oh, that was 22?
Yeah.
22, whatever. So years ago. Whatever. I'm bad with years. Numbers aren't my thing, right, Phil?
It was after COVID.
It was after COVID. Post-COVID comeback.
It's funny you say all that, Ryan, because, I'm a lot older than you guys. I've been involved in club rugby for a long time, but that was my first touch point with rugby. I played club rugby. And that's all I played. I didn't play college, didn't play high school, didn't play youth programming. I mean, back in my day, that's pretty much where you either got involved at the college level or you got involved at the club level. And that's where I started playing. And it's been a great ride. And you're right. Some of my best friends to this day are my mates from the Blaze Rugby Club. And it's great to see, and they're growing and thriving themselves. But it's awesome to see a place like this. And I think somebody's going to join us, and we're going to hoist one to club rugby here in just a moment. Folks, we're in Wisconsin, and if there's one thing, there's a lot of things that's Wisconsin's known for, cheese, sausage, and old fashioned. So I brought some old fashions. I'm going to be mixing them up throughout the whole broadcast, and we're going to be sampling some old fashions. Let's bring somebody in here, right, Ryan? Is that what we want to do? We want to bring one Philip Coopins in?
Yeah, I think so. We got 4 drinks mixed up there, and since I'm on the Heineken non-alcoholics because I enjoyed my club rugby too much, we're going to go ahead and get the first tasting. And what do you got there? What'd you mix up there?
This is just a standard old fashioned, right?
Just a standard old fashioned.
Yeah. I'm going with some Dickel bourbon. It's a hearty bourbon, got a caramel flavor, and it's really, really good just as a standard old fashioned. I think Jeffrey's getting one too. Come get you some, sir. There we go, and we're gonna throw one up. The club rugby.
To Club Rugby.
Bring
And
that
a
Heine
fun
here.
weekend.
Bring that
Cheers.
Heine.
Bring that Heine. Bring your Heine in there.
Yeah,
Where the Heine
See
at?
that Heine, mister.
Right there. Yep.
Cheers.
All right, round
Cheers.
1.
No buffalo. Rules are still going, guys.
Yeah.
But
How do you know I'm not left-handed?
That don't work. No, it's always left.
No. Not at my club. My club, it was your non-dominant hand. That was the buffalo.
Yeah, but everybody will play. I'm left-handed. And I'm using my left now, so we're not about to do this, all right? We're not about to do
International
this.
rule of buffalo, always left hand.
All right, well, now that we got the drinks down and some of us got some vitamins on board, let's actually talk about this competition. And we'll start with the women's division. Coming out, obviously, #1 contender. Everyone's talking about this Scion team. But they could be beatable because this is a young Scion team. A lot of college players now taking a pitch. Scion's looking to kind of recharge the ranks, if you will, as some of those other players have gone on, started playing WER, playing for the national team, right? They're coming in with a younger crowd. But, again, still got to be that. But there's some awesome teams there, too. Chicago North Shore, right? They put in some great performances last year. They're looking really good. And then there's a lot of other good teams. And then, Pago, your team, your favorite's got to be WAC, right?
Nah, definitely. I know Sion's always been good. Chicago North Shore too. They've always been good the last couple of years, but their #3 team, they're going to be dangerous. This weekend, WAC, been involved with them over summer, helping out with the men's program. But the way the women's been going on about their program this year, they've got something to prove, and they've been training very hard. And all the competitions that the qualifier that they went through, they got pushed by Oregon Sharks for a couple of tournaments there, which is probably a good thing for them. They needed that competition so that when they turn up to nationals, there's not so much big difference between them and the top teams. So, and they've got some new players in the squad now as well. So it's going to be, I'm going with WAC, bias. Just bias opinion.
I think it's good. Well, give us a couple of the players.
Where that bias?
Shout out to WAC, Washington Athletic Club. But yeah, for the women's bracket, I'm really looking forward to it. Last time I did nationals, pretty much every team was in it for a shot up until those semi-finals. So looking forward to that bracket. It should be fun. It should be a lot of talent. And with the way that the women's sport's been growing in America too, attracting more and more talent. So it's going to be an exciting bracket to watch tomorrow and the rest of the weekend as well.
Yeah, especially you talk about the women's game moving too. Like Jason Kelsey's wife, Kelsey, what's her name?
Is it Taylor Swift?
Kylie Kelsey, right? Kylie Kelsey, big fan of Alona Mar, right? She was talking, she had put out a post about how, exciting. Oh, look at this. This was great. We spent this time. And I actually, hit up their podcast. I was like, just so you know, you like Sevens so much. It's kind of timing of you saying this is great. We've got the best Sevens competition in America going down this weekend. The intern that manages that Instagram feed didn't get back to me. And I was probably we don't know if
Our people contact your people.
Yeah. People, let's contact that. But Rob, you're trying to get something in before I took the mic.
No, I was just gonna build on what Pago was talking about with WAC. I mean, they had to go to a tiebreaker with Oregon. Went head to head, down to head to head, and that's how they won that #1 seed. Speaking of which, I'm in the Midwest, so I've gotten an opportunity to see the qualifiers here in the Midwest, and this is the interesting thing about North Shore. They are the #1 seed coming out of that Midwest, so they're they're #2, right, in the tournament, but they've beaten the Lions twice, the Lions women. Thing to keep in mind in this tournament is that Lions women group were actually split squad, so they had about 60 ladies out for their season this year. They were running 4 teams in their qualifiers and then they were running basically their top 2 teams, the blacks and the whites, were splitting their ladies and their best players. I mean, Fiona Lewis came in. She's a Welsh international, 33 caps with the 15 squad, came into that side. And I'd expect the Lions women to be a bigger challenge than what they were in the qualifiers.
You think that's designed by Dave Fee to sneak a team in here that nobody knows about, or do you think it's ability for him to test out different players and see what combinations work throughout the season, knowing that the ultimate goal is to get here and then peak at this moment?
The latter. You know, he's been here before. They won a national championship 2 years ago. It's no surprise that they're here. It's no surprise that they're strong. He knows how to put a winning team on the pitch. I think for him, having so many ladies involved, sometimes when you have that much talent, you've got to find a way to make everybody, I don't want to say happy, but keep everybody engaged. So how do you do that? You split that squad into 2 squads. You make them, allow them to be competitive in their own right. And then you say, all right, ladies, it's time to determine who's going to be the best that we're going to put on this roster for the national championship. So I think it's by design. It's a smart play. And I'm interested to see how they run as a number 1 squad.
And that idea seems to come from last year. We had catastrophe right before this tournament here in Madison. Team dropped out. The Lions stepped up to the challenge, brought in an additional team, and that team
bonus
made
track.
Team made the quarterfinals, right? So that idea, like, we can be successful even if we don't have the best of our best every weekend, week out. That's a testament to the coaching. That's a testament to the Lions, but also how dangerous the Lions can be as time goes on. But what I will say is that pool itself, HEB. I'm a big fan of HEB. You know, no bias like
they're gonna lay wood, man.
No bias like HEB.
They hit like Pago. HEB hits like Pago.
Player for player, athletically, they have what it takes to. I'm not gonna go out and say they're the winners. You know, do your pick'ems, but I will say they are one of the teams that definitely could be 1 or 2 in that pool. And we talk about the San Diego Surfers as well.
Yep.
They always compete. They always show up. And Phoenixville just left registration behind us, so I don't want to, act like they don't exist. But, man, that Pool D is absolutely crazy.
I was going to say, Lance, is that the pool of death in this tournament for the women's side?
Potentially, yes, but Pool C with the Grey Wolves, Pool C with the All Blues, with WAC.
I mean, we can call it what it is.
Philly,
yeah.
Pool B has Oregon Sharks and
too.
Phoenix,
Yeah,
and those
Phoenix.
are 2 strong sides as well. And Life West.
Life
West is the 15th seed. I don't know in what world Life West women's are the 15th seed, but here we are in Cottage Grove, and they're the 15th seed. Like, it's hard to say what specifically is the pool of death. I think Pool A is probably the pool of life with Scion.
I mean, like, come on, man. So, like, Pool A is just like those other poor teams. Like, I'm sorry, like Dallas, Boston, and Atlanta. Like, I would really love to see Scion have to be put through the paces before they get into the quarters. I mean, that's a walk-in pretty much into the quarterfinals. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But, like, it's like I feel bad for that Pool A, right? That's a tough ask to have to go play Scion. But then who comes out of that Dallas, Boston, Atlanta? It's almost a race for second in that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I think that's what it is if we're being realistic here. And, I mean, I got to look. You were wearing that Atlanta 2.0 shirt when you showed up last night at 1:30 in the morning after an Uber snafu, and I didn't pick him up from the airport and all that.
He was paid in gummy bears.
I show love where love is given. That's all.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, right? So most people don't know the pick'ems. I have a little thing where we try to figure out people pick who they think going to win. There is a 70% that Scion is going to take Pool A. And the only reason that is 70% is because most people are biased, no offense to WAC. And, people pick their own sides. But even the pool winner and pool runner-up, Scion is the clear going through. It's almost a given. If you had to bet your house on it, we're going to pick the Lime Green Wolves to go through, and it is what it is in Pool A.
How about this? You mentioned Life West. Think about this for a second. Life West went up to the Pacific Northwest to play in a crossover tournament, and they lost by 2 at the Portland Sevens to WAC. And they're a number 15 seed in that Pool B. That tells you a little something about the strength.
Well, I mean, I think it was just said a couple comments like Life West at 15.
Yeah.
Life West. But here's the thing. Now, if you're a team and you got firepower and you come into this and you're a coach and you feel like you're underranked here, that's almost a blessing.
Yeah.
Right? That's almost a blessing. I mean, like, if you get underranked in that, I mean, in theory, aside from Chicago, North Shore, right, like, that Pool B is a good place to be sitting in. Right? Like, as it's set up, it's like – and now, I mean, we could sit here and we can talk about rankings. We can talk pools. We can do all of that in matchups. Realistically, we don't know shit until we get here and we play rugby tomorrow.
100%.
right? Because it's like, unfortunately, the teams that are here are of a high caliber, but they're not playing high caliber teams every single match when they're in these qualifiers. Like, that's just the reality of the situation.
So is that the great thing about this tournament?
That is.
I mean, to me, like, on some level you say, oh, it'd be nice to be able to compare apples to apples and know that certain teams have played each other, or there are some head-to-head matchups that we've seen before, and there are those, from, where we have some of those large bids. But, I mean, for me, it's the fact that the United States is so geographically huge. Some of these teams haven't seen or played each other and don't even have a common opponent from which you can kind of gauge the level of play. And that it's kind of like the Sweet 16, or the 64 team tournament in March Madness. Like, anybody on the day can come out and win a match, and you go, damn, that just upset the whole pool and changed the complexion of everything.
And then there's another piece of it where it's like, I always look to the past, right? WPL 15s was so big during the 2010s, right, leading into what WER became. Those 5 former teams that are here as a 7th team, right? Those teams have this foundation, have built up, even on the 15s level, but have built up into something to where I can't discount any of those teams either. Even if those aren't the same players that played WPL back then, they still had that foundation. They got to resolve. The fact that there are 5 teams here, and I can't discount any of them. San Diego, can't discount. Grey Wolves, who were the champions of the last WPL championship. Life West, who are semifinalists, right? Most of these teams, player for player, person for person, coach for coach, has a lot of foundation, has a lot of time into this rugby community that we love so much, man. It's hard for me to really, like, discount any of these WPL teams. Rest in peace. I will say, though, the only sure thing that we have, if there is a sure thing, and maybe all 4 of us can agree, we'll see. Scion, North Shore, WAC, Lions. The number 1 seeds of all of these pools seem to be a given to be 1 or 2. I think we can agree with that. The rest of it, and obviously we're just pundits talking on the patio, right? But the rest of it is like a toss-up. It's kind of hard to call player. I don't see Colorado Grey Wolves not being a good team in general. Yeah. I don't care the format. I don't care the code. I don't care the weather, time, whatever. The Grey Wolves are always going to put out a good product, right? Oregon Sharks, tested. They're going to put out a good team, right? Phoenix, fighting for respect in every way down in Florida. Did well, won the South, right? Not to say the South is the strongest region there is. Phoenix won the South. I don't think anybody's
going to argue that.
Phoenix won the South clear, but then you had to compete against a Life West side who physically, player for player, and especially in the 7s environment, player for player, is about as scary as a team that you can come across as the 15th seed. Like, in what world, I'll say it again, in what world is Life West a 15th seed? You know what I mean? Yeah. So this competition in the ladies bracket, it almost just lends itself to, like, if you want to bet some money, go ahead and lose the pot, because you might end up outside of the number 1 seeds of each pool. It can be pretty much a toss-up across the board, and you gotta love it.
Yep.
You gotta love it.
And I think that's a good segue into Pool C. I think we just covered Pool B there. Maybe there's a little bit of everything. We got ADD. Rob's mixing up some more drinks, so we're getting ready to get around for another round.
For myself,
we're like 15 minutes in. Like
my guy Lance is slacking a little bit.
Slacking.
I expect a little bit more out of a man from Florida.
Ohio, see, you know.
But you living in Florida, bro.
And just adding up on that too, with
and Pago, I don't see where you at, man. I mean, I would have refilled you.
Yeah, I'm right.
Oh, there you go.
Arya back there drinking it too. The dog.
He's got some catching up to do
on that with rankings and stuff. We find it pretty interesting and pretty tough to try and compare ourselves to teams from other regions, especially like. I've been fortunate enough to stay in different parts of the country and got to experience the summer club 7s throughout different regions. And the challenging thing that we face up in the Pacific Northwest is we don't really have enough teams to have a full competition. Yeah. So I think some teams are coming in with, they've had a full summer of preparation, but when you're talking 7s, you're talking about 2 days of hard competition. So I'm not going to read too much into the rankings of what we have so far, because with 7s, it's a game that any given Sunday, any given Saturday, if you go out there for 14 minutes and execute what you wanted to do, number 16 or even Lifeways can tip over Chicago North Shore, and if they come face to face, and Life Force has got their game plan sorted and everything like that. So looking at it, I think it's anyone's day. I think we won't be able to separate the top 8 from the bottom 8 until maybe game 3 or game 2 tomorrow. So it's going to be very interesting. It's a very exciting bracket, especially the women's bracket. Looking forward to it. And now I think we're moving up to Pool C now, right?
Pool C, your teams.
Pool C.
Before we started, that was the first team we talked about.
Yeah.
We jumped over A. A was like, all right, A is what it is.
Moving on.
I mean,
So this Pool C, right, with WAC, Lance, you make very good points to where this Colorado team, any format, anybody coming in, you got to say that about the All Blues as well, too.
absolutely.
Right? Like
absolutely.
the All Blues coming in there. And then Philadelphia, like, we don't know much about Philadelphia, right? So I think it's like a good thing that they're coming in here. You know, I know Dave Codell, who is a massive volunteer for USA Rugby Club, done a lot of great things for this organization. Now he's here with the team. He's not working competitions or doing anything else like that, so it's great to see him and his crew coming in there. But, yeah, WAC, Colorado, and All Blues. On the 15s, you look at Colorado and All Blues, and they're playing for national championships just a year ago.
Yes.
And by the way, Philadelphia beat Phoenixville at the Skelco Sevens. So here's a 4 seed in that pool, right? They're a 14, and they came up and beat Phoenixville, which is another
ranked
strong
10.
team,
Yeah.
you know, in Pool D.
Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. I'm really just a fan of the idea of Colorado and the All Blues playing against each other. You remember that WPL final with the mall at the very end?
Right here?
And
No, that was it.
Yeah, and it was in Carolinas, right? It was in the Carolinas,
yeah,
right?
Yep.
That ending to that game, I'm just going to go ahead and make the connection. Even if the same players didn't play in it, that game is live and in effect. Whenever they play each other tomorrow, I'm going to be front and center for that matchup. Colorado Grey Wolves, All Blues, there's some revenge to be had. And you said it yourself, Philadelphia, dark horse energy, if I've ever seen it. You know, and a lot of times you can find these Philadelphia teams who are the 14th seed or the 4th seed in the pool can knock off one of these teams that you would presume would be going to the quarterfinals when the tournament begins. And, you know, anything can happen. I feel like we should be looking out for Philadelphia. We should be weary of what Philly can do. Right?
I agree. Like, think about this. Philadelphia's coming out of that same pool as Scion. Now, think of it. They played 3 qualifiers against Scion, right? They're getting their heads bashed in every weekend, but at some point you have to think that hardens you,
Yeah.
right? That prepares you for a tournament like this. You want to, you know, cut your teeth at those tournaments so that when you come here, you're ready. You're battle hardened. You've
sword's
taken
sharp.
it to the limit. Yeah. 100%.
And to be honest, you're waiting for an opportunity to get your re-get against Scion.
Right. You're
not
chomping
in a
at the
region,
bit, bro.
Right, where it's not an hour away from where Scion home base is. It's not an hour away from
yeah.
us. But we got to catch a
We're in
plane. We got
Madison,
to get somewhere
right?
different.
We're
We got
Cottage Grove.
It's almost
neutral
on
territory.
neutral. Yeah, it's a neutral fight kind of thing, and it's built for upsets. This whole Club Sevens is built for any team, any moment. We can keep saying that. I'm gonna keep saying it.
Anytime, any place,
any
baby.
moment. You know, because how can you tell we kicked off a game or two, game 3, right?
3.
Now maybe in the quarterfinals we all have a better idea.
Yeah.
Maybe, right?
Maybe.
Bless the gods if they give us a chance to really be able to apples and oranges this thing. But Philly, scary, absolutely scary. And they could go 0-3 while I say this, right? Like, it's just built like that.
All right, so then on to Pool D, right, because we're about 24 minutes into this. Chicago Lions, San Diego Surfers, HEB, Phoenixville, right? Every single one of those teams have been to this tournament before. They all know how to play at the national stage. They all know how to play here. They're going to be coming in. They have history, right? Like, what are we expecting out of this pool?
That's a pool of death, right?
As
Are we
best-
calling
as
that
best
the
as
pool
we
of
can
death?
call? As best as we can call. If HEB is the 3rd seed, it's the pool of death.
Exactly,
Facts,
yeah.
like across the board. And also, it's the most evenly balanced, right? Not just the seed wise, 4, 5, 12, 13 just lends itself to really closely balanced teams. And if HEB is your 12th seed, look out, because anybody who plans on watching this tomorrow on the Rugby Network, HEB are going to run fast, run hard, and hit these ladies in the face. They are one of the more physical teams in the nation. Point blank period, HEB.
And by the way, HEB they just barely lost to. They beat the Dallas Harlequins. Right, who's the second seed in that Pool A that we've talked about with Scion. Right, so I mean they are capable of being the upset as a 4 seed in that Pool D.
Yeah. Now, and it's kind of interesting, like when we talk about the seedings and the way that it goes, there's a lot of historical content placed on, how you performed at nationals and how your conference and your division performed at nationals, right? So that's how, and it's very hard, like we talked about before, right, without a lot of other stiff competition outside the top of the teams to really get this seeding right. It's hard. It's not easy, God bless the people that have to do it, because I know they heard a lot of shit this week about it and about pools and seedings and all that other shit. Some people talk shit, you know what I mean, about it. But, hey, listen, we're here right now. You got the 16. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you got to beat everyone to be the national champion. So don't matter what seed you come ranked in here. Show up, play, win your games, go out there and get it done.
Well, let's be real, right? We've all agreed that the top seed in each of these pools is the highest probability to move to quarterfinals.
Yep.
Yes.
From A, B, C to D, who are your picks to be the runner-ups A, B, C, and D? I have to ask this because let's get it out in the open, right? Be right, be wrong. Let's live with it because, like I said, it's a hard decision to make. Pool A, Dallas, Boston,
Quins.
Atlanta.
Quins.
I'm with you on Quins.
Yeah, I think Scion and Quins too.
I'm going 2.0 thanks to that shirt I was wearing.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
He's bought.
Let's do it.
He's bought.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Shout out to Kennesaw State, baby.
Sponsorship shout-outs.
Just we're rugby players. We just want free merch.
Gear.
Just free merch, people. That's
Boston gives you a T-shirt as well.
Just so you know, folks, I can be bought too. I can be bought too.
All right, so Pool B.
I'm a gear whore.
Yeah.
Oregon, Phoenix, Life West. They take that breath.
I'm going to follow Pago on this one.
Personally, I've watched Oregon a lot because we're from the same region, and Life West, it came up a couple of weeks ago and played the additional tournament. I'll have to go with Oregon. There's something about that team that start off the season, they were, WAC was getting the best of them, and then they just kept grinding it. And then by the last tournament, they actually managed to beat the WAC first side. So to them, that was a massive accomplishment for the club. And also, just seeing you could tell, a really tight-knit team by the way they act, the way they do stuff. So I'm going to have to go. I'm going to be a little bit biased here and go with Oregon. It's just because I've seen how they progress throughout the summer and things like that. So, yeah, I'm going to go North Shore and Oregon.
Pago.
They did, yeah.
Force the tiebreaker. I mean,
Exactly.
anytime you're in a tight situation like that, you force, to go to head-to-head, to go to that, criteria. I mean, that says something about the resolve of your team, right?
Yeah.
And they beat Life West, who is in this pool,
In
right?
that pool.
So they've proven they can beat, they can run with the dog, so to speak.
I mean, for me, it's head and heart. Heart says Phoenix. Florida selects, right? Coach Ill put a program together for the last couple of years. They're in their 10th year as a team. They got big things coming. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to spoil the surprise for them. But head says Oregon. I mean, KB Slaughter. Stop. Period. KB Slaughter. Period. Right? Let's stop. All right, we can move on. Head, heart. But I'll go Oregon just off of the information I know. And shake my hand. Thank you. Shake my hand.
Info guy.
Yep.
I'm taking Oregon as well, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to follow Pago on that one. I'm going to take Oregon.
3 out of 4, right?
Good information coming out of the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, the way this is supposed to work, Lance, I must school you on some stuff.
Talk me.
So I'm supposed to be hosting this, so I don't have to pick. I see how you throw this on it, and now I got to pick. But I'm all in on it. So I'm going to start out. I'm going to go Colorado, Pool C.
Pool C. So
I'm going to take Colorado. I'm going to take some of that young talent that's been around there. They've had a great team in the WER to look up to. The Onyx were lights out. It's almost unfair how good the Onyx team was. I mean, when I was looking through that roster, I'm like, your second roster could win this competition.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about division of talent.
So
you're
Absolutely.
discounting their victory over WAC in the qualifier, the Chuck Nuts qualifier?
Who am I discounting?
The All Blues.
Well,
Was all blue there that tournament?
were they?
No, I don't
See,
know.
Rob coming in with some knowledge.
Some
man.
secret
I wouldn't listen.
information.
I went to the
Wasn't
Cat
this year?
Roach Bible.
Oh,
I went to the
okay.
Cat Roach Bible. That's what she said.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think they were there this year.
That's right. I mean,
Hey,
if Kat
Roche
said it, it's
did.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right. So yeah, no, I mean, I think that one's gonna be a good one. Pool C, pool competitive.
Yeah, I'll go with
Yeah.
the Grey Wolves too.
Yeah.
It's just a great club overall. Like their 15s program is so good.
Yeah.
That they even have so many Eagles coming out of that program, and just to have that club set up and the foundation set, I think that builds into your team as well. And having that foundation, having those experience and the talent of players that it's coming through that club, I'll have to go with Colorado just from what I've seen and what I've heard from people with how the club is going and things like that, and what they've managed to achieve, not even in WPL but the WER2 now. So yeah, I'll have to go with WAC and Colorado coming out of Pool C.
I got WAC, respect, and I got the All Blues actually.
That's a good choice.
I got
mean,
the
you
All
can't go wrong
Blues.
with
Yeah,
that.
I got the All Blues.
Can't go wrong
And
with that.
I think the discrepancy between those two teams is going to be so small. I think that game is going to be really close. I don't see that game becoming anything more than 6 to 9 points, kind of, as far as the point
3-point
differential.
spread?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to go with WAC and the All Blues. Absolutely.
I really hope Philadelphia
I
makes us all look really bad.
Dark horse? You're
I
going with
really
dark horse?
hope Philadelphia makes us all look really
be
bad.
Philly.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
they
with
won the
that.
Super
I'm fine
Bowl.
with that.
Yeah.
It could be Phillies here this year.
Yeah, go Giants.
You had Colorado All Blues.
No, I have the All Blues.
Okay.
I'm going with Lance. I agree. I think they're a team that could shake the foundations. And look, I like the basketball tournament, like the March Madness. You can expect in a tournament like this that you're going to have you're going to have an upset or two.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's going to come right out of Pool C.
Yeah.
With the All Blues.
Yeah.
I'm going with them.
All right, Pool D.
San Diego Surfers. I'm a big Surfers fan.
Yeah.
Lance is torn.
Yeah.
Definitely.
tell.
I'll go
Trying to
San
rip to
Diego
shreds.
Surfers. They've been here so many times now.
Yeah.
Like, I think they have a couple players that have been to national a couple times now. So just having that experience and knowing what to expect in the next 48 hours, I think that will help them get over HEP and Phoenixville as well. So.
Yeah.
You know what I will say, Pago? It's interesting you talk about the Surfers. Like last year when I was here, there were teams that you could see were relaxed. Like they understood where they were at. Yeah. They were comfortable where they were at. They were comfortable in their own skin.
Ever been to Southern California?
They had a vibe. and no, I haven't, but that's what I'm talking about, right? It's that vibe where they're
That
coming in
SoCal
here,
vibe.
they're comfortable in their own skin, they're feeling good. And Dave Fee said to me one time, he goes, the difference between men and women when they play sports is women have to feel good to play good, right? They like that. If they feel good going in, they play really, really well. And that team has a great vibe about them. Yeah. That island relaxed vibe is going about that team all the time, and I love that spirit.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me throw this at you. When you think of a surfer, what do you think of?
Relax.
Are they not living the team? Is that right? If they're relaxed, if you're saying
They're going with the flow, right?
right?
They're feeling,
Going with
they're
the
feeling
flow.
the vibe.
Ah,
They're feeling the vibe.
yeah.
With that being said, I'm going completely against the flow. Don't let me start.
A hurricane comes in and devastates everything in its wake, bro.
Everything's bigger in Texas, even the waves. Now, I will say this, though. HEB is a team that's been here a few years. They've taken their lumps. There's a video going inside of the clubhouse. The Chicago Lions were all sitting around watching them playing HEB a couple years ago. They beat HEB by a bunch of points, right? It was a whooping. But that moment, that little bit, created an opportunity for HEB, who's done great things since that moment. I'm going HEB. Shout out to HEB. Everything's bigger in Texas.
While we're on this subject, is HEB named after HEB, the supermarket?
I hope so.
No. It's
area.
The
it's
area.
the area. There's like three communities,
yeah.
3 towns. Yeah.
I lived in Texas when we got an HEB. So we were in San Angelo, Texas, and we got the HEB, and it was amazing.
HEB
It was like to walk in. I'm
I
like,
was like, if
I
they
could
name
get.
after the supermarket, they're probably the most
Yeah.
It's in there,
sponsored
but
team
yeah.
for the whole weekend.
It's
Hey, HEB need to talk to MLR, show them what's going on.
Oh,
Right
no.
now, get
It's
some
not
money
an
going
STD,
in.
We're okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, our apologies to Phoenixville, who've been written off here, but it seems like HEB San Diego Surfers
Prove us wrong.
in this one.
Prove us
And
wrong.
flip a coin, find out what you find out. But yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the less interesting competition, the men's competition.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What's going on over
I
there?
was going to say that the 3-time national champ is no longer here and represented in this tournament.
We call that the eligibility rule. It's just like we call that the NAV and the Scion rule. is what we
Having the
call that.
Scion rule.
So no, that's no. I think to your point, right? Like I think that's interesting the way that's going about, right? Like, and now NAV has essentially kind of gone. They'll be in Rugby Town, so don't sleep. They're not completely gone, but they're not here in the competition. But their coaches are still in the competition.
We're jumping right away to Pool D.
The players are
doing?
no. We don't
Okay.
care. We'll wait on the St. Louis Bombers. We'll get there, Rob. I know you've been chomping at the bit. I want you to have
I
four.
get my-
I want you to have 4 old fashions before we talk about St. Louis.
Gotcha.
Okay, and we get in there. But
If you're not careful, my wife will jump on here real quick and talk
she
about
might
the
be
St.
more
Louis
entertaining.
Bombers.
Yeah, you might get more views.
Yeah, you just have to give her an old fashioned or two, and she'll go right after.
Give you a few.
Yeah, no, but I think this competition with the former champions, they're not here. Players are everywhere else. You look at these pools, right? You got Nova at number 1, and everybody in the world has said and told me that this is Belmont Shores tournament.
Agreed.
Every coach,
Agreed.
every player, everybody involved. The dog, Aria, she even said Belmont Shore is
Belmont
in
Shore.
it to win it, right? So it's like she's here hanging out, been a great dog all last 2 days while we've been setting up here. But a great competition there too, right? But is Belmont's in there, but could they get clipped, right? It's sevens. And this men's competition is stacked with teams across the board. Anybody could be almost anybody on this, and I'm getting excited. I know, Lance, you're shaking your head, but like I'm trying to put a little bit of faith out there, man. I'm just tired of everyone telling me at Belmont. I would love to see Belmont get the double-double. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Get the 15s natty, get
Not
the 7s
me.
natty. Not you. Not a St. Louis Bombers
For
guy.
personal reasons.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely. So let's kind of just dive right into it. Pago, thoughts overall in this men's competition?
Man, I'm just looking at all these teams here, and I got a feeling this is probably going to be the closest men's bracket that we've had in a long, long time. So you look around at, obviously you got Austin Hans, Chicago Lions at 6, and then you have Old Blue, Mystic Rivers coming off the Northeast at 9 and 11, and then you also have Life University and Life West at 16 and 13. Like, if you have those teams at the bottom of the ranking, that tells you something about the men's bracket, because it's going to be very close. I don't think any of these teams is gonna have an easy game tomorrow compared to the previous years, where we usually have 2 or 3 really strong teams in the men's bracket, and then the other one, you don't want to say just here to make up the numbers, but with the eligibility rules and qualifications and things like that. But just looking here, like, seriously, if team 1 to team 16, it could be anyone's day. Like, if Belmont doesn't turn up tomorrow, like, I believe in ourselves. I believe in our guys that, Whack and a couple of the guys from NAV have moved on to play for Detroit now too, so that makes it interesting, and obviously you got Denver Lions and Mystic at one of those at Pool C with the up-and-coming SoCal Echo Rock, which I've heard some things that they've recruited.
Nick Boyer's out there, bro.
My buddy, he texted me this morning. That's how I found out about that squad. So, man, looking around, and then you have St. Louis. I've got a lot of mates that playing there with Life at Pool D. Man, you really can't separate all those teams if you're just looking at it from the outside. But that's the beauty of it.
Here's the big question, Pago, is I look at this, with professionalism and the women's side, professionalism is 1 year in, right? I mean, and really it's a half year, because we just had the first season kickoff at WER just recently, right? But we've had 8 years of MLR, and we have rosters that are chock full of MLR players, and there's even coming to the question, like, I know with the St. Louis Bombers, and I'm not jumping ahead to Pool C, I'm just saying that there were players that wanted to play and have played with the Bombers in the past that couldn't play with the Bombers because there were issues with the number of professional players that were already on the roster. And so you're talking about just the depth. And when we go to day 2, with the heat, the humidity, the difficulty playing, and the physicality, it really will test the depth of roster across the board at the Sevens tournament.
It's going to be beautiful to see. NAV has been the standard, right? They bring a team together. They come through. And outside of a draw in 2022, they pretty much
Shout out Denver.
They pretty much swept the whole competition for the last couple of years, right? That's the standard. But now we're talking about game to game, moment to moment, team to team. If we can pick and be sure, you pretty much can find a gold mine, because there's no way you can be absolutely sure who's going to be the cream of the crop. Belmont Shore is, as you've been saying and you've been hearing, I've been hearing the same things. Belmont Shore, Belmont Shore, Belmont Shore. And sure, Belmont Shore is going to be a tough team to beat game in, game out. But Detroit is absolutely crazy. That's a great team, right? The third team in the Midwest could beat the best team in the South.
What's crazy is Lance is saying good things about Detroit. That's what's crazy.
Wild.
That's wild.
Wild. Never in my life would I thought I'd be talking nice about Detroit, but here we are. Eagle Rock, led by a former 7s and 15s Eagle, are out here. I watched them warm up. Yeah, shout out to Ryan. They are strong. I'm going to say nice stuff about Mystic River. Mystic River, no joke either, right? Life University as a 13 seed is a crime.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is a crime. And one of the things last year, they were the 13th place team last year. Travel was an issue, right? But because that's a university, a lot of guys are pursuing their doctorate degree in chiropractor. So they find themselves doing boards, or they find themselves doing midterms, or these very serious things where they can't travel until Friday, till the last possible moment. I watched them warm up today. They're here, ready, prepared, ready to go, locked in, putting in the work. A lot of them undergrad guys was a part of the fold. Life University as a 13 seed puts Pool D in trouble. If that's the worst team in Pool D, with a Texas team that had, right, with a third seed Beltway elite from the MAC, like Life University winning Pool D isn't surprising to anybody, and it won't be surprising to me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the guys. Denver. And we can go team for team. I'm not going to do that right now. But Denver has been in the semifinals of the national championship since 2021. Every year, it's Texas pretty much. They the semifinals. Texas and Def and Denver in the semifinals. It's pretty much the scenario, right? But Belmont Shore and Nova. We've yet to say Nova's name.
Well, so
Virginia with the coaching staff and oh my goodness.
As a Bombers fan, I don't like the fact that you put Beltway Elite in with Texas and Death, because I don't like either one of those, and that makes three strikes, bro.
I said Denver, Texas, and Death.
Okay.
I said Denver.
I feel a little bit better about myself now.
Don't have me talking bad about Beltway Elite. I've already made enough enemies. Through my Great American Rugby travels. But yeah, like this 16 teams, right, outside of maybe, a Texas team, are the creme de la creme. They are the best, and player for player, coach for coach, moment for moment, game for game. It is so hard to pick. Outside of maybe Nova, maybe Belmont Shore, maybe. If WAC is a 10th seed, trouble is afoot, right? And for the last couple of years, they haven't performed to the level that we would expect from that Seattle side who was winning nationals all through the 2010s. But every year, until the games are done and the rugby is played, WAC are a crazy, scary side to play. What happened?
I said the Seattle team bring back the Suniolas. Get back, bring some good sevens back.
If Obu is a 9th seed, if Obu is a 9th seed,
we bring in crushes,
and Life West is a 16th seed, it is a scary time.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it, right? So Pool A, we're talking about it, right? You talked about this Nova team who, at face value, people are going to look at this, that will watch the tournament and be like, Nova, number one? Yeah. Like, how is that possible? And then you look at their roster, and then you look at their coach, Kurt Baker, was a coach, Old Glory for their backs coach all season, now taking over as their sevens coach, heading back after the sevens.
Isn't he like an All Black Sevens player?
All Black Sevens player, legend, like a great All Black Sevens player, right? Like great All Black Sevens player. But this Pool A, unlike the women's where we had a clear out-and-out winner, right? Austin Hunn's been putting in work this summer, right? Austin Hunn's been putting in work this summer, right? Old Blue won the Northeast pretty handily, right? And I used to rep, and back in your days when you were in Northeast, I used to rep Northeast, the best conference, blah, blah, blah. It's fallen off. It's not anymore. I can admit that. Times have changed. I live in Chicago now, so it's okay. It's all right.
Okay, by the way.
It's all right, But, yeah, this Pool A, I look at this, and I think that this is, if not a pool of death, a pool of it could kill you. right? Like this is a pool of anybody could kill you. Nova probably coming out of here, but like Old Blue again, right? They had the pedigree, they have the history, but they've also had flops at this tournament too.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've also come out, and in reality, nobody's talked about this yet, really. But like when it comes to sevens, it's how healthy are you on day 2?
Yeah.
How many soldiers do you have to put on the field?
I talked about
Like, how
that when
many
I was
good
talking about the women's
soldiers
side. By the
that you
way,
can do that?
How healthy are you on the on day 2?
Yeah.
But Old Blue, coached by Stephen Lewis, the Lizard.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a legend.
The Lizard has been around. He knows this tournament. He's been to Wisconsin. He gets it. He knows how to prepare a team.
I vote him the most interesting man in rugby.
I second.
I'd agree with that.
I second.
I'd agree with that.
And that's 100% fact.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Lizard.
Jamaica,
Stephen Lewis.
To the Lizard.
He better be on a plane. He better paid for the Wi-Fi to watch this on the plane today. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Lance
I think
knows
they're-
what I'm
they're
talking
on the
about,
air
bro.
right now, yeah.
Lance knows what I'm talking about.
It's crazy.
Got that Wi-Fi on the team.
No, I think Nova. I'm going to go Nova and Oplu.
We to that point
Coming
yet?
out.
We to that point to make predictions?
Yeah, boy.
You locked in. You locked
I'm
in what
locked
we
in.
doing.
He's already up there.
Nova and Oplu, obviously, Nova's coached by Kurt and Jason Emery, one of my mates. So, and then I've got a lot
Dog,
of-
dude. He's a dog.
Yeah, and then obviously Oplu with all my ex-New York Iron workers coming out of Oplu. So
Shout out Oplu.
I feel like those are the two teams. And man, seriously, you look at that pool A, and you look at pool B, pool C, and D. Those are all pool of death.
Yeah.
There's actually no easy pool in the men's bracket this year, which is
Not at all.
crazy. It'll make it fun for us though, because we're just going to be sitting here and watch them die.
Yeah.
And watch all them die on the field for 2 days to entertain us, which is
Speaking
for
of
you
which,
guys.
Are you
No,
not
you guys.
entertained?
I heard that there's a cold plunge tub someplace around these parts, and that Pago might actually be in the cold plunge.
Yeah, Hammer-
during a few
Hammer's
intervals.
trying to get this
Yeah,
going.
all
Truth
weekend.
to this, bro.
If
Is there any
there's
truth to
cold,
this?
if there's cold beers, give me a budgies. Give me budgies and beers and a cold tub. I'll be there all weekend, guys. Sort it out. Sort it out.
If we're talking about the best team in the MAC, because the reason Nova is the number 1 seed is because there's been a MAC champion over the last 3 years, right? That is part of the reason why Nova
does
is
it
the
count
number
if
1
it's
seed.
Nav?
Right. It does count. It does count because Nova, outside of 2022, have been here. They've been a part of this whole fold. They've been to Wisconsin. They've made it happen. Old Blue went in the Northeast last year with the 13th team after everything was said and done.
Yeah.
Hurt them. And this is why you can find yourself with a number 1 seed MAC team, a number 5 seed MAC team, and a number 7 MAC team, because the MAC does so well at these tournaments. But the Austin Huns, who went through a crazy Texas, crazy Texas
That Austin
fold,
Blacks team was awesome.
Austin
right?
Blacks.
And the Austin Blacks would be here, and not the Dallas Quins. No offense to the number 12 seed. We'll talk about Pool D later. If it wasn't for Austin Blacks making a little bit of mistakes on the eligibility in the last tournament, losing some points, it would be the Austin Blacks here. And there's a lot of people in my DMs like, Austin Blacks are the standard of rugby in Texas. Hey, I feel you.
If you want to set the
gotta be
standard,
smarter
play the
than that.
rules. Yeah.
I mean, you got to be smarter than that. When you're one of the top teams in the nation, you really got to give some thought to, those. You got to pay attention to eligibility.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to tell you, obviously, I'm a Bombers fan. I know the Bombers
No
well.
bias.
And with the crew that they have, they are constantly on guard for being both on the 15s and 7 side for, hey, how do we make sure we're on the good side of eligibility issues? And it goes back to and I don't mean to diss
He means
my Chicago roots with the Griffins, but it goes back to a couple years on the 15 side when you just totally you say, you know what, we understand the eligibility rules, we don't care.
We might be right, but we're going to do what we want.
We're going to do what we want, and you just can't do that.
But Pool A, as we said, is the pool of death. And if Life West, I've said this a few times, if Life West is your 16th seed, oh my goodness, what a scary day it is to be 8-9-1, right?
How did they look this summer?
Yes, they came up and played that one tournament, and they They look
beat
good.
Whack.
Yeah.
And then what? Nima's
Whack.
making a comeback.
They beat Whack.
Yeah, they beat
They
us.
beat Whack.
Oh my goodness.
But
beat Whack.
we already.
All right.
Whoa. Here's
That's
the
what I'm
thing.
talking about. Blow it up, man. Blow it up.
Here's the thing.
I
We
didn't know the
already
Northwest.
qualified. We already qualified. A lot of guys
It
was
sound
carrying.
good.
Oh,
injuries.
you're going with that, are you?
No, we fought.
Yeah, this
we
meant
fought, we're like,
nothing.
hey,
It sound
let's
good.
experience with our squad. Like dive deep into the core of our squad. So we gave a couple other guys, a run.
Sound good.
It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse,
Sound
but
good.
it's
reality.
It's reality. It's one of
yeah.
those you have to test the squad. You gotta find something to burn that fire within them. And I feel like after that tournament, the boys found their strides.
Pool B.
And
Pool
we're
B.
coming in. We're coming in. We're coming
I like
in.
a team. I like when teams are willing to step on throats. All the time. All the time. Because it's a mentality that they don't and they refuse to be beat. And that's my concern and there's been a couple of teams where, they've said, hey, we're already qualified. We're going to take it easy. We're going to play a couple other players. I get all that, but step on some goddamn throats, right? Make a statement, send a message, right? And that's what I look for. I mean, I'm a wrestler at heart. That was my first sport. And wrestlers, they have that mentality when they go on the mat. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you've been. I don't care what tournament you won. I'm going to go after you, and I'm going to drill your ass.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the great thing about this sport is that when you're really engaged in it, it's like it's all on. You know what I mean? And it's like if you're not engaged and you're not willing to go out there and crush it, then like what are we doing here? And what are we? All right, so what are we doing? We're talking about Pool B now.
Yes.
That's what we're doing.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
All right.
We're moving on.
Going deep into the roster.
Oh,
All right.
D.
Belmont Shore coming in at 2. Schuylkill River number 7. Whack Pago's boys at 10, and then you got Detroit at 15.
Is this the pool of death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we gonna?
It's A. A is
You
the
could probably
pool of
ask
death.
that question on C and D again, and we keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Is it a pool of death if Belmont's that far of a front runner to win it?
I don't know. I actually do not know. I managed to play for Santa Monica for one summer, and we got to play against Belmont pretty much every tournament. And, the team they've got this summer compared to other summers, they've managed to build, I think they've had these kids, majority of the squad, I think 80% of the squad, they've had these kids playing together, coming through all the age group through the club. So, and it's been a while since they've won something. So I think they definitely going to be the number one team.
Sevens wise,
not 15s, but sevens wise they haven't.
Many
I think
times.
they went to the finals last year, right?
Yes, they were in the
And
finals.
they lost, and I think, and given the squad they have this year, they're young, they're hungry, they're going to come through, and I think they're clear the best team in that pool, but you got to keep an eye on for that number 10 ranking team. They've had a good build. They've had a good build up. It's a very strong squad they're bringing in this year.
Great coaching.
On top of that, the coaches has been fantastic all summer. They've been technical. They've been looking after the boys mentally, physically, and they're just coming in. The last 3 or 4 years has been a very, very disappointing outing for the WAC. It's been. And we have a couple guys that in the squad this year that has been part of the club since it started. And, the early days of WAC and Seattle Rugby, they were the team to beat.
Yeah.
And in the last 3, 4, 5 years, they've had strong squads, but they've never managed to do anything with it. So our challenge this year is pretty much be that group that takes the Pacific Northwest back onto the map, and not even getting into top 8, top 4, but to go all the way. So, and the team we're bringing in this year, it's big, it's physical, they're fast, they're fit, good-looking bunch of guys. We're going to win on and off the field for this week.
Pago winning off the field. We know that for sure. That's for goddamn sure. But let me tell you the one thing I got beef with WAC though. as good as you say all that, y'all got booty ass jerseys. Like, if you're still rocking those jerseys from last year, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing?
The white jersey, or
just the blue with a stripe. Like, come on, like, put some. Well, you can't afford a creative design on it. Like, I mean, like, that's it. That's the only thing.
Tough times up in Seattle at the moment, guys.
Respect to WAC, but they are big and every year. You know what I mean? So respect to that. I'm not, but Belmont Shore would probably have been the champion last year if their main guy doesn't get hurt. One of their main guys gets hurt 4 minutes into the match, and it kind of disrailed their ability. A playmaker going down pretty much changed the matchup. Nav will capitalize, but Nav is no more. And Belmont has another opportunity. What can you ask for more than another opportunity? Schuylkill River historically have been that team, right? They make the quarterfinals pretty much every year. It's pretty much.
They beat Beltway 24-21 this year.
Well, man, we ain't going to talk about Beltway. We're going to be nice about Beltway. Schuylkill River is a team built in a community sense. So their ties to each other is just a little bit different than a lot of teams that find themselves at nationals, right? And I spoke to the coach a couple years ago, and it still seems to ring true. They find themselves in the top 4, top 5, top 6 every year without those guys in the professional ring or having to do these waivers or having to make eligibility questions. They find them guys that are part of the community, and they work together, and they make it. They make magic, right? But Detroit, I gotta talk nice about the tradesmen, man.
You don't.
5 years ago,
you don't have to talk nice
I
about
do.
Detroit, do you?
5 years ago, I would be so ashamed to talk nice about Midwestern, right? 5 years ago, I'd be so ashamed to talk about the tradesmen in such a positive light. But player for player, they got guys from the NAV team last year. They got Eagles from before.
How many NAV guys are in that team this year? Because I saw a few on their roster.
It seems as though, in that experience puts them ahead. And being the third team in the Midwest isn't particularly a bad position to be in.
It says something.
Right?
It says something.
It's not a particularly bad position to be in, right?
They got second to the Bombers.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the real thing is that we've never seen a Bombers-Detroit match this whole season.
Yeah, we have.
No, you haven't.
No.
I thought it was in pool play in the first qualifier.
You haven't. Your son told me that.
Okay, so maybe
the younger Hammerschmidt told me that Detroit.
He's keeping information from me.
So maybe at the beginning of the 7th season they played them maybe in pool play.
No, he said they never played.
But that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
No games of consequence, no games of any real measure or weight. Detroit hasn't played, right? They end up getting beat up by the Lions. Shout out to the Lions for
we talk
handling
about
the
the
business.
Detroit team, right? You talk about NAV players that are over there. I'm not talking about one player that was with NAV, but we're not going to claim NAV. He's a Detroit through and through. Simi Moala.
MVP.
MVP of this tournament.
I handed him the trophy,
Simi
MVP.
Moala. Also, Paleo Vatuve. Like, that guy's unreal. Are you kidding? Vatuve is unreal. And then one of my favorite players who, I found in 2015. I didn't find him, but I saw him for the first time playing for the Falcons.
Right.
No, he was already on the Falcons.
You're making claim.
But Ahmad Harajli. And that's a born and bred Detroit through and through player, been there forever, went up to the Falcons, great player. He's going to step, scored amazing tries last year, ran over people, can dance, and can finish them from the distance. So, I look at this roster, and and that's a 15 seed. That's a 15 seed coming in there.
Yeah.
Right? And again, right, having to play like Chicago Lions and playing St. Louis Bombers too, right? That's a good.
They ain't played the Bombers.
No, they ain't yeah. That's right.
To play against the Lions and maybe play against the Blaze and play against the
Maybe
Griffins
this
and
weekend play them.
play against Kansas City.
Yeah, it could be. So other thoughts on Pool B or anything like that? We have anything else that we got to?
I'm just going to say it again, Schuylkill River.
Keep an eye on for rank 10, guys.
Keep an eye on rank 7. You can't discount Schuylkill River, right? It's unfortunate.
The only thing
identity with that crew,
Yeah.
right? Like a scrapper mentality.
Yeah.
And now,
Underdogs
where WAC
from the
has the
beginning.
most bootiest jerseys. Schuylkill Rivers jerseys are fire. Like, those are the We the People jerseys.
Yes.
So that's going to be the match
And
of
they
the worst.
embody that. Like, it's not just a jersey. It's an identity, right? It's not just in the jersey.
Winner keeps the good jerseys.
Swap jerseys halfway through the tournament, guys.
Now, when we talk,
Pool C. So we're there. Pool C. Denver coming in at number 3. Chicago Lions at 6. Mystic River and then Eagle Rock. Talked a little bit about that Eagle Rock side, coached by Ryan Matties coming in here. Nick Boyer, who got called up to Seattle, had a lights-out return to Major League Rugby. It always seems like Nick Boyer is always getting counted out by somebody, and he shows up, he gets his opportunity. He says, hey, this is why I've been playing professional rugby. This is why I was an Eagle. This is why I am who I am, right? I've been doing this since high school.
I'd rather talk about Mattias. He's my dude.
Yeah, Maddie's a good dude. Yeah. I mean,
Ryan.
Shout out Ryan.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's a USA original.
Say legend.
Through and through.
Say legend.
I mean,
Say
it's
legend.
somebody we can take a lot of pride in.
San Diego Legion, formerly the San Diego Legion.
Formerly.
Yeah, formerly.
How many good players play for Arizona College? See, I'm about to be offensive. Let me slow down. Denver. How is it that every year Denver's in the semifinals?
Mickey
Every year.
Mickey Bateman, Hightower.
But they might be
from?
better this
Where's
year.
Nicky from, bro? Where did he come from? What college?
I don't know this one. You got to pull that out there. Oh, Lindenwood. Yeah, that's right. It's
Lindenwood.
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 Don't talk about no. Listen,
We'll get on that. We'll get on that train just in a little bit.
Finals every year. I don't know how. I was trying to explain. I was trying to figure out how is it that Denver is always in the position to fight for a championship.
I
It's
know
got
the
to be the
answer.
altitude.
It
altitude.
has to be the
It has
altitude.
to be. They got
It has to
like,
be.
If you can run a Bronco in Denver, you probably can do really well in Wisconsin here, right?
Exactly,
You run a
yeah.
Bronco under 5:30 in Denver, you're probably running in 3 minutes.
I try not to think about Broncos, man.
Yeah.
How is it that Denver is always in the semifinals? And mind you, they have to play against a Lions side who, I mean, they might not have been playing the best rugby throughout the year. They might be playing against the Denver might be playing against the Lions team that could be different than what they went through in the Midwest. It's not a far drive for them. So as far as travel, as far as accommodations, getting adjusted to the environment that they're in, this might actually be the Lions pool, if I can call it early on, right? But Denver is scary.
I totally disagree.
Thank you. Finally,
Totally
somebody
disagree.
with
You
my
think
genius.
Chicago Lions is going to win Pool C?
I didn't say that. I said it could be. Let me
It
have my
could be. Now you're
speculation.
backtracking. So producer Jeff, Chicago Lions, probably going to cut the feed now because I'm talking shit. He's a Chicago Lion. Probably going to be like.
Chicago Lions.
Cut it now.
It
Cut it
depends
now.
what Chicago Lions team shows up. Is it going to be the team that got let's be honest, at the Blaze quarterfinal got their ass handed to them by the Bombers, or is it that team that showed up at Elkhart that went up by I think it was 7-5 into half and really put the Bombers to the test? Because there are two different teams there, and I tell you what, it's a question of which Lions team shows up.
This is where I get to, as the owner, swear on air and say I don't give a fuck. All right, because let me just read this. Canberry, David Hightower,
Ouch.
Marco Lapierre,
Ooh. Say Cody.
Cody Melfi,
Say Cody.
Oh, is Cody playing?
Cody Melfi.
The company.
Hey, hold on.
Chicago took
The
off the stage. You might
quadriceps with
actually
eyeballs.
Look at
John
his
Ryberg.
eyes. Let's see that.
John Ryberg. Who else do we got?
Oh, it's Johnny Ryberg?
Johnny Ryberg. And
Quadriceps with eyeballs.
quadriceps with eyeballs. And then, other players. You had Lance Williams, but he's now on USA duty, unfortunately, for that team. But, that team is fucking jacked, dude.
Jesus.
That was a team that last year, if that team gets healthy,
They had Lance
they had Lance Williams.
Oh, lucky. Hey, it's a lot
They
of
had Lance Williams.
Right now.
Like,
He's lucky.
Scott Lawrence got a bonus from Pool C.
He's lucky.
Yeah.
He must be a Lions fan.
Who paid him?
We having to tackle him. Oh.
Was it Mystic Rivers or
Oh.
face Lawrence and Colin Lance?
Oh my God! But and
Oh
then,
my!
Second best Lance in rugby, Lance Williams.
Second best.
Man, after hearing that Denver squad and
Say Denver.
Denver,
Say Denver.
Denver,
I mean, look, semifinals every year, bro.
and that's the thing. If you
Texas and Denver.
Texas and Denver.
if you have like a history at a tournament where you just know, and you know the inside and the outside of it, you get comfortable with it. And then the last few years I've been watching Denver is like they just turn up. Their first game they always look a little bit, little bit dodgy, and then game 2 they start just turning the heat up. Game 3, and then what I like about Denver is day 2. They always come out of day 2 like they start strong, and they always finish the day like high. So maybe it's something to do with the altitude up there.
Gotta be.
It gotta be, but that's one of the teams I'm definitely getting them, and my heart is telling me, because one of my best mates is head coaching Mystic Rivers this year. So my heart's telling me Mystic, just so I can
Shout out Pex. Shout out Pex.
so I can say that, but I know they're not going to make it out, so I'm going to go Denver and Chicago.
You lucky I don't speak ill on people's health, because you might have heart disease if your heart's saying that.
Oh no! Oh no!
My heart is saying Mystic, but my head is saying Chicago Lions, and Denver's going to make it out of that pool.
And
And welcome
honest,
to Eagle Rock.
To be
Welcome,
honest,
eh?
Eagle Rock.
First
Eagle Rock is
competition?
going to destroy some brackets. Eagle Rock is going to do some damage, right? One of these teams might go 0-3. I don't know if that's going to be Eagle Rock. Like, I don't care about seeding in this situation.
Nah.
What he wants to say, ladies and gentlemen, is Mystic River is going to go 0-3. That is what Lance
is not
Williams
what
lives on,
that is not
breathes
what I
on,
wanna say.
and dies on.
That is not what I want to say. What I want to say is Denver, Chicago, and Eagle Rock going to all win games in the pool play. That's what I really want to say. I'm not saying Mystic going to go 0-3. I'm just saying. You talking about?
That's the old Chloe
my
Needs
heart,
talking.
my heart says Mystic River. Goodness, somebody get this man a chest examination. I'm joking.
All right, so we got Pool C's pretty. We're there now. Let's get to Hammer's favorite division, Pool D.
The Bombers.
Because the Bombers, the Lindenwood, number 4 ranked team coming in, leading that pool. St. Louis coming in. You know, now they've got that NAV coaching staff. They've been living a cush lifestyle with a great pool in Lindenwood. I mean, that's not bad.
That's good pool.
They
That is
deserve
such a
that. I
good
say
pool.
that. I say
Listen.
that, and I mean that with like I'm jealous,
Yeah.
right? That they did that. They earned that,
Yeah.
right? As good coaches, they've had that opportunity. They had NAV. They've got 3 championships right in a row. Now they go to St. Louis. Can they do it with this team? We're gonna find out. And you know, this team may be a little bit beat up though.
I don't know. They've had 2 weeks to recover. They did have a loss, and I think an underrated player is Connor Lenahan. He took a pretty big blow at that Elkhart tournament, and he's not on the roster, and he's a hell of a player. I think he's an underrated player. But having said that, what's interesting about this crew is you can say what you want, but these guys, in one way or another, are very connected. And they're very connected because they are Macy's Misfits, right? They're a lot of these players.
I like
come
that.
from
That's
I like that. I like that. Mason.
You coined
I like that,
it,
Mason.
but they come from that LU component. But here's the thing: I think that bonds these boys together in a cultural way, right? There is a strong connection amongst this group, and yes, they brought in a Ross Depperschmidt from NOLA. Yes, they brought in
Stanfield.
Tim Stanfield. But by and large, this crew is a similar crew to that which won the 15s national championship in 2024. And the question is this coaching staff, have they been able to take it up a notch from 2 years ago being second place winners and last year being fourth place to now being national contenders? And that's the big question.
The strongest team in the Midwest have a leg up on the entire competition that we think of as Sevens Nationals, right? In 2022 in Seattle, that St. Louis team were underdogs fighting for the opportunity to make the quarterfinals. In 2022, they didn't even make the tournament. By 2023, they were in the finals. So we're talking about a team that's built.
That Wesley was great.
Failed that Wesley Semi battle.
Wesley White versus Semi.
That battle was incredible. Like, we're talking about a team that's
But
fallen, rose again, and then find themselves as a semifinalist again. There is no way with the addition of JK, who, by my honest opinion, as someone who loves rugby in the United States, should be a part of the USA fold in sevens in some kind of form or fashion. Historically, it's shown he can put a team together, he can advise a team, he can create a team, construct a team, and do everything that a team needs to be successful on the club level, as well as his time with the Falcons and such. This St. Louis team is as close to a lock to quarterfinals as any team in all 4 pools, including Belmont Shore and including Nova. St. Louis is the team of Pool D. Now, if you get a third-place Beltway Elite, you get a Dallas Quins who shouldn't be, I ain't going to say that, who Austin Blacks probably should be here outside of certain situations.
The Harlequins backed into this tournament.
Respectfully. And Life University, who is the number 1 team in the South.
But thank you for coming in and filling the bracket out. Thank you, Dallas, for filling the bracket out.
Facts. But Dallas shouldn't be above Life. But the South only having one team,
right.
and it's Life University. And the only issue that could have been laid out for Life University is travel, and they're here preparing, ready to go. This is a St. Louis Life University Pool D if I've ever seen one in the history. Not to say it's the pool of life, it's the pool of life. Not to say it's the pool of life, it's the pool of life.
It is.
But St. Louis Life University is If I had to bet the house on it, I'm not gonna be homeless by the end of it. That's how I feel right now. I could be wrong. Life happens. Games happen. But St. Louis is pegged to go. Have they lost this year?
No.
Have they lost this year?
No.
So they're undefeated.
Hey, listen.
They're undefeated and almost underrated as the 4th seed.
Yeah, in Elkhart, they were down 7-0 going into the second half, and they had penalty. They created a little bit of their own troubles, and they had 3 or 4 penalties that were really costing them opportunities. They knocked a few balls on. Here's the thing. When you talk about sevens, it's a short game, so that you have to have a short mentality.
Yeah.
You have to forget what happened in the first half.
Yeah.
And what sends a message to me, and yes, I am biased as fuck, okay?
Boom.
But the second half they came back against the Lions 7-0, and they rolled with it. They didn't care. They knew they had opportunities. And yes, there was a certain 6'6" player that got a chip and chase and chipped ahead, and his last name is Hammerschmidt, and he scored that try that put them 7-5 down and gave them an opportunity to win that qualifier.
Happy Father's Day.
That's the mentality that you
Day.
have to have as that number 4 seed that is looking to be a potential national
So the
champion.
last time we seen them, the last half they played, they were the best team in the Midwest. They won the Midwest doing that, right? They haven't lost a game the entire year. They have the coaching staff that is undefeated in club rugby over the last 2 seasons.
Amen. Preach.
Right?
Preach, motherfucker. Preach.
Right? So rest in peace to Nav, but if Coach JK and Emil and everybody else that's a part of
Emil's my boy, by the way. Emil's my boy.
Even the physio for Nav is with
Yes.
St. Louis, right?
Jesus.
It's basically the same
Yeah,
coaching group with a team that placed second 2 years ago in a semifinalist last year. If we're going to anoint anybody the best chance at a championship, it would have to be St. Louis, and that's what everybody's saying. Belmont Shore is the team to beat. Belmont Shore is the presumed champion in all of this. Forgetting about Nova, forgetting about Denver.
And St. Louis likes to be in that position, right? All right, yeah, write us off. Write us off.
Yeah.
Write us off.
It's crazy.
Because you write us off, and we're going to come back to bite you in the ass.
I'm gonna
But
write
they're-
you off. What
they're-
do you think, Pago? We writing them off?
I'm actually going to. I'm a big
The
fan
national
of
champion? You
St.
picking up for the
Louis.
champion?
No.
That's what I'm
not
saying.
champion.
Because the way Hammer's talking, it's championship or bust, right?
Hey, don't worry.
Championship or
Wack,
bust.
Wack is going to win it all this
Yeah.
year, but I'm actually a big fan of St. Louis, the Bombers. I haven't seen them play that. I actually haven't seen any of their games this year, but one of my good mates, one of my former teammates, Nick Fix, pretty sure he's the captain of the squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've been following the Bombers on social media for the whole summer, and as you said before, like with the culture and how they build the team up to this point, from what I've seen, every tournament they're doing something after the game. Like it's either a piss up on the bus after a tournament, or they're doing a dress
The
up.
culture is there. The team
The
part
culture
is
is
there,
there,
right?
and now you add on very experienced coaching stuff.
Yes.
Like a guy that's been there, done it, that's won national championship for the last 3 years, and then you bring in your assistant coaches, you bring in that whole management, the foundation of your team, and as I said before, once you get to a level where you manage to have repeated success in everything in what you do, that's hard to beat.
That's an underrated point, Pago. I mean, you look at JK and you look at Emil.
Yeah.
And they're basically free agents.
Yeah.
After Nav Sevens goes away, they're free agents. They can go anywhere they want, right? So what do? They look at what their best opportunity is, and they went to the St. Louis Bombers.
And that's, and then from what I've been talking with Fix about, it sounds like, as you said as well, they've been up and down.
Yeah.
And in the last 2 to 3 years, not only as a sevens program, but as a club, they've really built something going forward for the future of the club. So for me, they'll definitely be one of the top. They deserve to be in the top 4 of rankings, but just going off, addition of the coaches, new players, and what they've built in the last 3 or 4 years, the foundation of that program, this could be their year.
For me, it's about discipline.
Yeah.
It honestly is about discipline on the pitch.
Yeah.
Can they be disciplined when it comes down to those tight matches
Yeah.
in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals?
And also, you mentioned that they're coming in beaten up. So are they healthy enough to go 2 days off top competition around the country? So if you're healthy enough to go into day 2 to push for that semi
And
or
I
final
think so,
spot.
because they've run 2 bomber squads throughout all the qualifiers in A and a B, and so now they can start to take a look at, like, you know, we go back to that women's side of things with the Lions and with, by the way, the North Shore, you know, where they can now start to take a bigger roster and start to bring in that bigger roster and think about who's going to be the best suited to bring it, you know, for a 2-day tournament and be successful.
St. Louis and Life out of Pool D.
You'll be hard pressed to write off St. Louis. Respect to Beltway Elite, right? Because they've shown over the last few years that they deserve to be in the dance. The reason that they are even a 5 seed has to do with the work that they put in and what the MAC is as far as strength goes, right? Yeah. They are clearly a top 3 team in the MAC, and that makes them arguably a top 10 team in the nation without any doubts there, right? The Quins, and you know, we've been semi-respectfully disrespectful to the Quins. I mean, it's just part of the circumstances. But the Quins and Beltway are in a position where, like, everyone's counting them out, myself included. I will take the charge on the chest. I don't see a road in which Dallas Harlequins or Beltway beats both or either St. Louis and Life University. Life University is prepared. The standard is laid. The coaching staff is experienced. The players are experienced. Last year they had a disappointment, right? And we can give excuses about travel and things. I will give that excuse for them. Shout out to the U. I'll give the excuse for them respectfully. They don't have that issue anymore. So they're prepared, ready to go. St. Louis is the team of teams in the Midwest, and as a 4 seed in this competition, there is no way, I'm going to say it 3 times. I'm sorry, Jen. No way.
No way.
St. Louis doesn't handle business across the board, and Life University doesn't handle business with the following 2. And if Life University is prepared, ready, got some tape, got some time together in this environment, they also are really dangerous in the quarterfinals. They will be. Right? Looking forward to the future. They are very dangerous in the quarterfinals. The Pool D might be the pool that has 2 semifinalists. I'm saying that early. They might be the pool that has 2 teams in the semifinals. Could be right, could be wrong, but
Pool P?
Pool D.
D.
Life University as a 13th seed and St. Louis as a 4th seed might be 2 semifinalists because of the circumstance lent to them. Now, the question is whether they'll be tested in day 1 that'll give them the ability to really fight in day 2. I just feel like if they're rested, well prepared, and ready for day 2 after going through 2 quote-unquote by Lance lesser teams, they could be teams that go into the semifinals ready and poised to play against a Belmont Shore and a Nova and potentially who knows.
And plus, I think Life will probably be to be the healthiest team coming out for day 2. You know, it's a team full of doctors, chiropractor. You know, they probably have some masseuse in there as well. So, you know, in terms of recovery, in terms of looking after your body, Life could be the team that we look out for day 2, because they'll be coming out nice and fresh, you know, with all those doctors on hand in the team. They might be
highlight a few of them, actually.
Getting a little adjustment after every game. You know, got to keep an eye out for the chiropractor team.
Yeah,
you might get cracked.
And I mean, you didn't get that love to Life West, but we'll pass on that. I'm just saying.
I know there's about 5 guys there.
All right, well,
the Life West, but I understand.
All right, so let's wrap this all up now that we got into it, right? So we did a pretty good deep dive on the men's division and the women's division. I'm just going to start off right with you, Hammer. Who wins the women's competition this year?
Woo! Woo!
You're putting me under pressure.
Woo!
Put me under pressure.
Safe bet Scion for sure. Woo!
Scion.
Safe
All right,
bet
Scion.
You know what? No. Fuck that. Check.
North Shore.
Lions.
Whoa!
The reason I say that is
because you love Dave Fee.
Because
you love Dave Fee.
He's my boy.
Yeah.
But he only has 1 team in the competition this year, and he's had an opportunity to take a look at all of his talent, and he's putting the best 12 on the roster that he believes can compete in this tournament. And I think they have a good dynamic, and I think North Shore is going to be in the semis, but I think the Lions are hungry. They're hungry after being the bridesmaid, and they want to be the bride.
Lance.
Hey.
Rebuttal.
Listen. One of the things about all of this is it's so hard to choose because it's so much randomness. A good player can go down. Anything can happen. The rain or weather can affect how a team plays and who we see actually perform to the best of their abilities, because that's what it's about, showing up on the day at the moment.
It's funny you say that because we have like 37% chance of rain on like Saturday and
Sunday. Yeah, right. So
that could
Mother
Mother
Nature can, like, we're looking at beautiful weather now. This might not
now.
be the scene behind
Perfect.
us, right? This might not be the scene on Saturday.
Yeah.
But if you ask me to put my house on the line, put my, put money on the line, put everything on the line, it's hard to go against a sure thing, whether or not it's young or not. Whether or not they're the same caliber as before, they no coffee and no autumn, and these players that moved on to Canada, USA, became international players. It's hard to go against Zion if they walk through the MAC the way that they did and the way that they've ran through the women's competition. Or maybe they aren't, renewed. Maybe they aren't the same team. Maybe they just reloaded with the same caliber of talent, because they find a way to find the best in that area, to find the best in the region. They've had so many alumni that we respect as internationals. It's hard for me to believe that these young players that they got aren't on that track and that pathway to be those same people that we respect to that same level. So, Zion.
Pago's bold prediction.
Don't say WAC. Get your bias out of there.
Washington Athletic Club. I'm a loyal guy, so
I don't know when there.
Respect to everyone else. Everyone else have had great summer. We could talk about different things and that, but looking at the camera right now, Washington Athletic Club Women's will be your 2025 national championship, and you heard it here first.
Hey, he took off his shades for that.
That's why I'm going with that whack, right? Like, you take off your shades, got serious. I mean, that's great, but it ain't as great as your celebration with the shield, bro. Like, I mean, I had to show Grant that yesterday, man.
It's a bold prediction, guys. That's why I said bold prediction.
Bold prediction. So I don't think it's that bold.
You gotta say it. You gotta say it. Say it.
Coming out of Pool P, the number 10 ranked team in the country. It's gonna cause some upsets this weekend.
Talk it.
The Washington Athletic Club. They prepare well, physically, mentally. The boys are ready. The coaches are ready. Everyone is ready. It's our year. It's the WAC 2025 year. And you heard it here first at Pago's bold predictions.
I like how you said they, as if you're not part of the they.
Hey, let me put my sonny's back on.
They, like you're not the they that we speak of.
Because when we win, I'll include myself. If we lose, yeah.
Hey, listen.
Sorry, guys, I was commentating the whole weekend.
Listen here, if we didn't learn anything in the last 45 seconds, one of Major League Rugby's many blunders is not making this guy a personality. All right? So, like, that's one of the many blunders could be not making this
teammate
a
is, right?
personality. Oh, Chongo. Hell yeah, the Pongo and Chongo show. Oh, listen, I was on the Ironworkers. I seen the
Here's what I've been saying. I told Chongo, and he was on the Rugby Rant a couple weeks ago.
That's
I
a
said,
good one.
what he's got to do is Chongo is a graphics artist. That was his major.
He is.
I'm saying the two of you guys got to make a cartoon, Chongo and Pongo, and have
Fire.
and have it revolve around rugby. That's how we steep rugby into the youth of America today.
Talk it.
Right, Chongo and Pongo, and you guys just take it and run with it.
Absolutely.
Bro, that
This is giving me
would
Johnny
be hot
Cinco
as fuck.
vibes.
Bro.
So I thought long and hard about who would be the men's
We
champion.
have to connect after this.
I
I need some more
They about,
ideas.
they about to make a production deal right here, y'all. Y'all heard it first. Chongo and Pongo. This is gonna be.
Chongo and Pago.
Show coming in 2026.
I'll be a producer.
There we go.
I've been putting a lot of thought into the women's semifinals and the men's semifinals. In the men's semifinals, I had a thought that, first of all, knowing what winner will play the runner-up in each pool and how that kind of mixes is part of the argument and trying to figure out that part. But I always thought that it would be Nova, St. Louis, Denver, and Belmont Shore. If you had to find them 4 teams, they just happen to be the best teams in each pool, the 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Yeah. I hate to be the front runner guy, but again, I picked Sion for the women's side as a front runner, right? But I think as I look at the teams, as I look at how everything formulated, as I look at player for player experience, everything, it is hard for me to look at a team like Belmont Shore with how close they were to a championship, who probably would have won it last year if they don't lose that playmaker early in that championship match. For me to say that they come back with a team with more experience, right? More. They actually come back with a team with more, right? CO goes and plays for the USA. He has experience that 99.8% of the players on these fields that will play this weekend don't have. It's hard for me to say that Belmont Shore won't show up when the time is there and take the Pool B clear,
Agreed.
walk through the semifinals, walk through the quarterfinals, and find themselves in a championship opportunity that they let down again.
Yeah, contender.
There's no way. So with all that speech and with everything that's been said throughout the weeks by me and others, Belmont Shore.
There's no way.
Well, your opinion is whack. Let me tell you that right now. Right, your opinion
Pun
is
intended.
whack.
That's a pun intended.
Clearly intended.
Pun intended.
Because you whack for the men and
I got
women.
that.
What's going on?
I see you. I see you, Lance.
Well, Great American Rugby is going to win the national championship this year, too. Like, come on. I will say this, though. Your picks are appropriate, and I appreciate you being loyal. But you're out of your mind if Belmont doesn't win Pool B. And no disrespect to you, and I say this very disrespectfully, but no disrespect.
Very disrespectfully. But
Whack might not even make it out of Pool B. So respect to you with that, right? But I got Belmont Shore for the championship.
This is exactly what we needed. This is exactly what we needed. Is people counting us out before we even hit the field.
I'm counting you out.
You know, I'm gonna get this clip and I'm gonna show it to the boys tonight because this is the fire I was talking about before.
I didn't mean any of that. Show that part of it too. I'm sorry, guys.
Coaches love that bulletin board stuff, right? I mean, they
we
love to be able to say, hey, yo, people counting you out. Uh-oh,
His
the
predictions
sunglasses
are
are
not
off, bro.
Nah, hey, bold predictions. That's what we're after.
Respect.
All right.
Belmont Shore.
And in the the light of respect, we're not going to ask Hammer's opinion.
You know
Nobody
my
wants
thoughts.
to hear about St.
You
Louis
know my
Bombers
thoughts.
anymore.
I'll slide
What's
with him.
going on?
6'5".
Yeah.
A 6'5" winger.
The 6'5"
Oh.
winger that can ball and play good.
Well, in 15s, yeah.
Yeah.
But he gets in the mix in the scrums during the 7 season.
Yeah.
That's scary, probably.
Yeah, so we know Hammer's over there. He's got St. Louis Bombers on there, right? And he's definitely speaking with his heart, kind of like
100%.
Pago and all that. I'm gonna take an easy winner in this one, and I'm gonna say Denver gets it done.
Ooh, and they're due.
I'm gonna say Denver gets it
I
done.
haven't had my fill of quadriceps and eyeballs in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And we're due.
We're due.
We're due. I want to see John Rydberg roll.
I do too. We want to see him get another one. I mean, John Ryberg, he's no stranger to championships, is he? He may have won a championship somewhere once or
right
twice.
there, bro, right there.
All right, and is this where
Right
we start
there.
talking about failed MLR teams? Oh, no, this is not where we go with that.
You did not do that.
I did not do that.
You did not do that.
Hey, listen, let me tell you, the greatest thing about MLR teams going down is cheap merchandise, people. Go on, get the sales, get it now. It's the only good
I got
thing about
mine.
going
I
down.
got mine.
I bought mine. I got some Miami Sharks kit now.
Miami
I tell you,
Sharks?
I wasn't quick enough to get Toronto gear. I was really upset. I don't have any Toronto Arrow gear. Anybody got some? I'll sell it. I'll buy it. I'm like, I'll buy it from you. I'll trade you. I'll get any of that, some of that vintage stuff.
I got some.
I got the Jackal
some
gear
X-Blades.
Yeah.
I got some X-Blades, bro.
God, what an awful jersey.
That's day one.
Hell yeah.
Day
If you
one.
got X-Blades, that's day
Oh.
one.
Oh,
You've been there.
Austin
You're
Hurd.
OG.
Austin Elite. All that back in the day.
I mean,
Hey,
are we talking
the Rugby Rana's OG, baby. The Rugby Rana's OG.
We can get to. We got time. Let me look at my
I,
watch.
I still got to drive 2.5 hours home. What time do we got? 8.
We got
16?
time.
All right, hey, okay. All right, so let's do it.
Alcohol.
Can
All
we
right. We've been doing it.
league, please?
Okay. All right. In the interest of Pago
All right,
potentially
wait a minute,
keeping a
wait a
job
Pago,
for next year.
Lance, we know Ginty. He has other vices, right? The blackberry whiskey old fashioned, or the peanut butter whiskey old fashioned. Which are you going with?
The first one.
The blackberry.
Blackberry.
Okay.
Blackberry.
The first one, the second one is delicious. The second one is delicious, but I can't get too deep into it. You know what I mean? That'll ruin my life if I get this.
You start making drinks that good. I'm drinking all the time.
The thing with the second one is that you don't know that you're drinking it fast.
Yes.
So that's a dangerous, I love the dangerous part of it, where you don't know.
Man that wears glasses like that is not afraid of danger, baby. Let me tell you.
Where you're just sipping it away, you think that it's just another sweet drink, and all of a sudden, boom. You're running a few laps on the field naked, but that's a story for another time.
I would like to preface all of
Hey,
this.
y'all, hit me up. Hit me up. I will share my concoctions with anybody
let me
who hits
preface-
me up on socials at BLAZERGB7. Hit me up. I'll share my concoctions with you. I love a good whiskey. I've shared it with the boys here.
Good.
Hit me up on social media.
I would like to preface that all my predictions was made after a couple old fashions by him. So if I'm wrong
Hey,
anyway.
don't play the boost for your predictions.
We like it raw. We like it raw.
We making excuses early, but yeah, that drink is delicious. And shout out to Spotted Cow, man. Wisconsin got the beer
Oh,
that
yeah.
I need for sure.
You can only buy that shit in Wisconsin.
Only. So shout out to Next Level, man. This has been absolutely. But we ain't gonna talk NLR. Don't get me started. Miami folded. We gotta talk.
I'm ready.
Okay, we got. I'm gonna give it to the next 8 minutes to talk about. All right, so Major League Rugby. If you don't know what's going on, is Major League Rugby in the last couple of weeks have lost a couple of teams. Nola Gold will no longer be returning for the 2026 team.
Somebody put a
Davion
dagger
Paws.
in my heart.
Miami Sharks also in the last couple of days.
Somebody
have
put a
folded.
dagger in Lance's
They're
heart.
no longer in anymore in the league. Maybe in SLAR. Rumors we're hearing that they might go to SLAR. Who knows if that's
Rumor.
possible. And then coming out of California, what we heard out of California is the merger between San Diego and RFCLA. Yeah. Now, the biggest thing about this that I'm upset about is I got an original RFCLA hoodie that says established in 2025. Do I put dead in 2025, 2024, 2025? I don't know. But it's an unfortunate situation. I mean, if my opinion on it, right, having worked with the league, in the league, that we have to pay respect to the owners that have been losing millions of dollars for years, that allow people to live this lifestyle and allow us to enjoy professional rugby. And that's just point blank fact number one, that nobody's making money here. Nobody's making money in Major League Rugby, right? They are spending money at a potential outcome or a return on investment down the road. And investor fatigue is a real thing.
Yeah.
It is a real thing. And I'm just gonna finish this thought right here. I do think that part of this, it's not on just the Major League Rugby front office, which I have issues with, but also it's the fans. I mean, we talk a lot of shit as fans.
Yeah.
You look at that Reddit, and there's a lot of shit talking. We're not as supportive as we could be. We could be better. Could the league office do a lot of things better, like market the sport better, do a little bit? Absolutely. But again, right, it's hard, man. Sports in America is hard in a saturated market. And I'm thankful that we have these owners that have put their own personal money down.
Facts.
So that way people can do it. So that way we can see Pago smash people on weekends, right? That we can see this sport grow at a professional level, right? And so, that's just my soapbox. I'll do that. Rob, you're trying to get in. You got some comments on what's going on?
Yeah, there are a lot of layers to this issue. And I guess the first layer is to what you spoke about, those original owners. And I think about a guy like Tim Falcon, who's a personal friend of mine. The guy, believe me, he has a successful law practice. He's a very successful individual. But he did this out of heart. He did this out of love. right? But we've gotten to the point now where it's gone way beyond that, and I feel bad for a guy like Tim to see that dream come to at least a pause. But the reality is that I think this presents an opportunity for the league to provide a reset. Right? Let's go back. We're now at 8. That's fine. Go back to 8. We're okay with that. 7 home, 7 away. We're at 14 games. It works within the international schedule. It works within some of the geographical weather issues. And let's move forward and let's focus on developing rugby from a youth and from an American perspective.
Cultural
and move
perspective.
forward. Right.
Cultural perspective.
And let's move forward. I fear that if we don't have MLR, we lose an opportunity for young Americans to be successful as professionals.
Yeah.
We need to keep that.
Yeah.
And even if it's 8 teams, that's okay. That's okay. Operate from a point of strength.
Yeah.
And develop the youth programming at the very basic. I think that's one of the things that I see at the ownership level that they could have done. Supposedly, and we don't know because the communication hasn't been awesome, that $10 million gets you the buy-in. Well, instead of using that $10 million to pay back the owners that were originally in, use the $10 million, put it in escrow, and say, you know what? Every year that you keep a U18 and a U23 academy side alive, we're going to take that $10 million that you put in escrow and we're going to give you some of that back. And we're going to give it back to your club to continue to develop youth programs.
Yeah.
Right? It has to come from the youth.
2 or 3 years at a time. That's hard. That comes with culture. That's what this club rugby's for. That's what American USA Rugby's for. It is not Major League Rugby's
So work with Club Rugby. Work with Club Rugby. Like the Hounds do that, right? I mean, shout out to my guys. Shout out to Chicago Hounds.
Yeah.
But right, they have a vision, right? Allow some of those Hounds academy players to play within the D1 system. Right, and my boys, shout out to Chicago Blaze. Chicago Blaze are a new D1 team, along with the Lions, along with the Griffins. Right, but the idea is they have Luke White as a coach. They have some of those MLR players coming in as D1 players, and the thing of it is that it really establishes the idea that club rugby is at the roots. We're going to work with club rugby, and then when we go to the academy system, it comes after club. It doesn't come at the expense of club.
So if you're saying that, you're saying that, you're just arguing against yourself. Because if club rugby's there, like that's the youth, right?
But teams work with the youth programming.
He wouldn't define 23, define 18, which is which is semi-appropriate. The only thing is like how we think of sports as people. All of us, and I mean everybody, those watching, myself. As a young person, 4 years old, 5 years old, I looked at the TV and said, Barry Sanders is the man, right? If we don't have that, and that can carry on for 10, 15 years for me to be a high schooler to say, Ed Reed is the man, and I want to be like him. Leroy Butler is the man, I want to be like him. It's tough to do, right? The thing I have is, right, between Tomas at Miami, who show mad love to Great American Rugby, show mad love to me. Millie, who just won the Executive of the Year, which is tough to win Executive of the Year, and then 3 weeks later, now the team doesn't.
3 weeks, 2 days later.
2 days.
2 days. Yeah.
2 days.
2 days.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
All right, I'm trying to, whatever. So
I know.
My idea is that for me, every MLR situation, event that I've been a part of, been able to witness live in person, has been absolutely amazing. I got to see NOLA live in person in stadium versus LA. Neither one of them teams exist anymore. I got to see them in their last year actually compete, actually do work. Miami, I'm at 90% of their home games. These gentlemen have been, and Miami as a whole organization has been gracious to me. It sucks to see Florida lose such a staple because I'm refereeing these 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds who are at these games. They see me walking around in my Great American Rugby, whatever.
They're giving you
referee.
love.
That's our referee.
They're
And
giving
at
you
the same
love.
time, they're in a professional environment watching the best that we have to offer in the USA play. For that to be gone, as Ginty said, much love and respect to the owners. They lost a lot of money, but we all lost something with NOLA going away, with Miami going away, and those two
I lost
California
a piece
teams.
of my heart, bro.
Ooh, ouch. Right? Like, it means something, right? The thing is, right, it is a money issue. But because it's a money issue, why is it? Because it's a culture issue. As a society in America, we don't necessarily gravitate and pull towards rugby in the same way that we pull towards all the other major sports. Rugby is a very internationally dominated sport. How you end up as an international unit has a lot to do with how we respect the sport in general. The teams that we respect throughout the world are very strong international sports, and then in fold, they kind of have kind of strong club and domestic competitions. England, South Africa, New Zealand all have these domestic competitions that we used to look for. And like Super Rugby with the 3 Southern Hemisphere teams used to be something that we will all be like, that is the pinnacle of rugby.
Yeah.
They changed the game. You see how those in the North are playing now?
Before we had the internet, VHS got sent to my club.
Different.
That's how I watched
But
Super
a
Rugby.
part of the issue is that we need longevity. You saying us going to 8 teams is very important. As long as there's slow motion instead of no motion is the most important thing that we need to worry about as a nation. MLR is here. That is our professional highest level domestic competition. We lost some teams, but we can't turn our back on it or feel like it's going to fold. The reason, and I'm about to get into something crazy, the reason the dollar is so strong is because we believe in it. The reason that we're able to spend money the way that we do is because we believe in the dollar. We have to believe in the MLR almost in the same vein that it's going to be here. We're going to put something toward it, whether it's energy, whether it's money, whether it's appreciation.
We just need the
MLR
to give us some
regardless
feedback.
of leadership, front office, all of that. One thing they did do, they work with the union. They made a team that shows respect to the international. For me, that kind of stuff is very important, and they did it. That's why I can never have an issue with MLR. They respected the players, whether or not they're getting paid or whether or not they're getting treated in the way that we feel they need to be treated regardless. The union has a place. At least that's what the union says. And the international segment of USA Rugby and the players in MLR feeding into that has a place. It might not yield the results that we want, but appropriately, that's just what we're seeing. Anthem exists because our international team needed something, and we gave them that. If we're doing step towards that, the last thing we need is the whole team to fold. The whole thing to fold. We were better as an international team that had club players throughout. We were winning games, but we still weren't any closer to making it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup.
Okay, I'm going to cut you two off.
Ouch.
I'm going to cut you off. Only because we're not only are we over our time limit, but the only one that actually the only
bro.
No. You guys were cooking. Listen. Lance was cooking on that shit. And now you were right.
Yeah, you good.
But like, ain't none of us played in the MLR. So like Pago.
In my dreams.
Yeah, Pago. Like, I mean, what's it like as a player? And I don't want to put you on the spot here or that, but like to see it, where we're at now. You've been on teams that have folded and having to move, on 2 teams that have folded and having to move. So you are no stranger for this. You're almost somebody that's the perfect person to talk on this.
Perfect.
And then just give us a little bit of an insight from a player's perspective when something like this goes down. What are you thinking?
Man, I think first of all, we need MLR to stay. Just not only development of the Eagles, USA Rugby and all their international teams, but we spoke earlier on in the show about the level of competitions that for the national sevens, especially national sevens, because you get all these guys that get the exposure of being a professional 24/7, and then straight after that season you come in and you play club rugby again, and to get that experience, and then you come back and then bring that experience back into local clubs and stuff. As someone that went through club rugby, back in New Zealand and Australia, whenever you get those professional guys to come back and play for your local club, either 2, 3, or even 4 of them, it always lifts the standards of play. And the standards of play in America, especially in club level, you know, sometimes, you know, minus the top clubs where you always get the best players, if you don't get those best players in some of the minor clubs or small clubs, the competition or the knowledge of rugby in America will never grow. So I think it's very important that we keep it, you know, we keep Major League around just for the growth of the game, not in terms of business wise, but in terms of knowledge of the game. Because, you know, I moved here, you know, I came through the system in New Zealand and wasn't really going anywhere. I moved there in America, be part of the national team. I was very fortunate enough to get, you know, on that stage. And once Major League started up, and then we went and coached local clubs, local high school, local college, the one thing that you get out of all of that consistently around America is great, amazing talents, like top tier talents. Because these kids have like trained from when they're 8, 9, 10 to try and crack into NBA, try and crack into NFL or MLB. So physically, they're there. But just like when you have a rugby guy switching to NFL, it's not like, if you're an athlete, you're an athlete. But so if we keep Major League around, you're going to breach that cap of bringing guys that are professional 24/7s and then bring them into your club rugby 2 times a week. And then it helps your coach develop, it helps your players develop. It gives them a different perspective of the game. Because sometimes when you're just playing club rugby, it's kind of like, you know, just pick up the ball, run.
I got to ask you,
but
Pago.
if you once you start learning the different side of the games, how to read different positions, like the outer part of it, I reckon that will help develop our youth, develop our age group, like our U16s, U18s, U20s, and let's try and get that U20s team to the World Cup, you know, to compete. And then on the vice versa with the women's, it's, you know, now you learn rugby from a young age instead of trying to learn rugby when you're older. But other than that, on the business side of things that have been going on, I can't really talk about it too much because, you know, I'm still an employer for Major League and Seattle Seawolves. So, you know, those are things that we're not really allowed to talk about, right?
Shout out to the Seawolves. They had all that. Shout out to the Seawolves.
Rocky!
Shout out to Rocky. Shout out to
Hey!
So, Pago, let me ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot here. So,
Be gentle.
based upon what you just said,
Be gentle.
right? Should the MLR reduce? Right now, the threshold is 10 international
For international players?
on a game
Yes.
game day roster.
Yes.
Should that stay at 10? Should it be reduced? Should it be increased? What are your thoughts on that?
Here, this is going to be hard for me to say, but
I pitched you.
as-
I pitched you, bro.
as a USA, you know, as someone that played for the national team and stuff, I think if we want to put the national team in a place where we're competing for pool games, we're competing for quarterfinals, we have to play American players. We have to play local players that can qualify for the Eagles. I reckon for me, if you ask me personally, I agree that we should lower the numbers of international. I reckon we should just go to 5 and say 10 for your whole squad, and then on game day 5. Because I'm saying this, and I've got data. You know, I'm a data guy. So take Japan for an example. Japan started off like us when they first started off with top league. They started off with massive international players. Teams were going somewhere, but the Japan national team wasn't going anywhere. So they just bit the bullet and be like, okay, that's enough. We're only going to allow 3 international guys. On the opposite side of that, if you get rid of all these international guys, the only way a local kid is going to be able to learn is just chuck them in the fire. Because what we're experiencing right now, and this is just coming from me as like someone that's been, you know, a professional for a decade and like got to see some of the American kids coming through. And I also say American kids because I learned my craft somewhere else before I came here. So when you get these American kids coming through, there's a massive cap of skills and rugby IQ, but the only way you're going to learn that if you're playing the game.
Yep.
But right now, we can get away with saying, oh, he's not there yet, so we're just going to put this international guy there. But if that international guy is not there, you got no other options but to put that local kid in. And that will be the only way that local kid is going to be able to learn and then get exposure to the game. And then hopefully, the more good professional American guys we have, the better our Eagles going to become. Then all the Eagle spots going to be competitive. And all the major league spots come competitive, and then it filters from the top to the Eagles, and then it goes all the way back to club rugby. And say the guys that don't make it further after major league rugby, they can come back and play for their local clubs, and it just keeps building that foundation through amateur rugby too.
In my mind, this is a bit of a reset, an opportunity for the league to reset itself and say, if the now granted, we're at 8 now. We have to reset and say, ownership, what do you believe in? What are the tenets? Let's identify some simple 3, 2, 4 tenets that we believe in. Right? And go back to those and say, okay, let's operate from those 3 or 4 tenets. Whether it's developing the young players for the future for the USA, or whether it's a successful developmental model. What are those tenets we're going to operate from? This is an opportunity for a reset in my mind.
Unfortunately, that lends itself to unrealistic thoughts, because the one tenet that's going to be the main one is money. It's just
amen, bro. Amen, bro.
It's
You're
not
right.
fair. It's not,
You're right.
It's not necessarily
You're
the
right.
most purest form of our approach.
Yeah, but I would
money.
caveat that with money without a good execution, without good strategy, there is no lack of money. There's $4 to $5 million per year that teams owners are putting up, and probably some are putting 7 to 10. Right? So there is no lack of money. The money is there. It's what are they getting for their money? Right. And that's what it ultimately comes down to.
Right.
I've said this, and I was told this by a camera operator that's pointing the camera at me right now this morning. He said this, and I think it's something that the MLR League office needs to really look at and needs to do. Tell us the fucking truth. Right? Just get out there.
Be real.
Tell us the fucking
be
truth.
real with fans, right?
All anybody wants. Why do sports sell? It's
want
authenticity.
Honesty.
They want honesty. They want authenticity.
Fans want honesty. Fans
they want
want
something
transparency.
that's out there. I don't want rose-colored glasses on.
No.
I don't want you to feed me bullshit.
I'm a big fucking boy.
You know what
I'm a
somebody
big
said
boy.
today? You know what somebody said today, which was really good to me about this situation that works in the MLR?
Don't do it.
No. What they said is tell me the truth because it only hurts once. If you don't, it's true. Tell me the truth because it only hurts once.
I'm a big goddamn boy.
Tell us.
I can take care of myself. Tell me what it is.
That's the thing.
And tell me how I can help the situation.
In Major League
let's
Rugby,
move forward.
Major League
help
Rugby,
develop rugby in America.
And forever, Major League Rugby has been I would say with the Killebrew years, it was a little bit more lax and it was getting more fun. And the way that he talked about your shield thing when we had our pregame show was awesome and it was entertaining. It's what it was, right? And it was it was fucking awesome. That was
Pago
great.
Took off his shades, bro.
Yeah. So
shades are gone.
But hold on, no, I'm still on this.
Go ahead. I got something.
But the veneer, right, doesn't have to look fucking perfect, right? I think somebody said veneer. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to do that. You have to be authentic. You have to be real.
Yes.
You have to appeal. That appeals to people more than just glancing over stuff and not addressing it. Step outside, show some leadership, step the fuck up in front of a camera and say, this is where it's at. Yeah. This is where the league is. We are going to be fine. Listen, we are going to be fine, and we are going to be fine because we're going to figure it out, and we're going to do that. And listen, that may be happening behind closed doors. Maybe that's happening. Maybe it's not. But if you had somebody that came out and did that, and you had somebody that did that, what would that do for, the players? Right? And it would galvanize something. So that's what's missing is leadership. Leadership is missing.
Leadership.
And that is what's missing.
As a rugby rant, right, I'm going to go on record.
And not
as
from
a
the owners
rugby
of the
rant.
Teams. Just want to put that
Bob
caveat.
Hammer, Scott Ferrara, whomever is a part of our group, we are supportive of the MLR. We love the MLR. We love what it's doing. We would hate to see it not exist.
Hey, you better stay around. I still need a job next
year. That's what we can do. But
I'm not ready for reality yet, guys.
Don't ignore it. But don't ignore it.
I'm not ready for a 9 to 5 yet, man. Come on, please, Major League. I need
don't
a job.
Ignore it.
I need a job, man.
Folks out there willing to support the cause, willing to love the MLR, willing to do things for free to support the cause.
Facts.
Embrace us.
Facts.
Yeah.
And also,
Let us help you,
It-
but don't ignore it.
It's
any rich people out there, any billionaires, any millionaires, any trillionaires that you've got nowhere
we're
to
talking
spend
to
your
you,
money,
bro.
and
Major League Rugby.
Yeah.
It's a great investment.
But again,
You might lose a couple millions, but it's gonna come back.
You know what's the
Gonna
thing
come
that
back.
I realized actually through this conversation? Like a lot of it is based in love. Like it's literally
Passion.
based in
Yeah.
love for the
Passion.
game. It's
Right?
literally based
Passion and
in
love for the game.
what it is that we want. Like everybody here all wants the same thing. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
something we can all agree on.
but-
we want to be able to compete with the top of the world.
Yes.
And on top of that, we want to be able to have a domestic
Americans love
competition.
success, bro.
We want a domestic competition in which a young person can look at it and say, that's something I can aspire to.
Yes.
And I think what you said as far as showcasing, look, it's a little bumpy right now, but literally every professional sport in the history of what we love as Americans started off in the Stone Ages. Right? NFL players was painters in the winter. You know what I mean? When it wasn't a
They were
season.
selling cars and
They
shit,
paint
right?
houses and car salesmen, right? But eventually, the game built to a point
Yeah.
where the fandom and everyone putting their time, energy, and attention into the game built it so that NFL players can only focus on playing football. What we all want is a group of rugby players.
we don't want Pago to grow up.
Facts. What we don't want is guys like
Never growing
Pago.
up.
We want a Pago cartoon, bro.
With a natural talent and ability, with the ingenuity, the intention, and the energy to playing this game that we all love. Because in the middle of all of this, it's a childhood game. It's a game where we all just want to go out there and compete. I am old as kind of, sort of. I would
You ain't old, bro.
Kind of, sort
You
of.
ain't old.
Not sitting next to you.
He's old.
Yeah.
I made a disclaimer, but we will all love to be the ones. As much as we talk about this club rugby stuff, we will all love to reverse the clock and be one of the people that's
Yeah.
out here competing, and they
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
whether or not our team is going to be the
Give me
ones
a
to win
chance.
it.
Give me a chance to turn back the clock.
Right, but we love because we love the game,
Yes.
and I think this conversation and a lot of the conversations we have in the group and so forth and whatever is that the love of the game is what prevails.
Yeah.
And I think if we are realistic on what the expectation is and where we're currently at, it will bode well for us for the future. Because I would love for my children to be able to aspire to play in the MLR and my daughters to play
I love for the
WER
fact
and
that
whatever
my
else.
child is playing in this tournament. It makes me come to tears to
Fact.
know that my kid is in this tournament.
Yeah.
Playing
Slow
a
zoom,
start
slow
out
zoom
for
on
the
that.
love of
Get
the
the tears.
sport, for the love of the team, for the love of
better
the
have a
boys.
good
And
tournament.
that's why he picked them.
And that's why
Of course he-
I'm
If
a
he has a
St.
rough day
Louis
tomorrow, we need
Bombers
to cut this
fan.
video and show it to
All right, cut him off. All right.
Ginty, bro,
I've had enough
appreciate
old fashions.
we actually broaching this conversation, especially with a guy like Progwin, because for me to see what he's done as a champion, right, to
Yeah.
actually share his opinion, a lot of this kind of stuff doesn't ever come to light, right? You still need a job, right, and you are a good player and you are willing to put your time, energy, and effort into it. I would love a place for you to compete and continue to compete. And I would also love for you to inspire the next generation. So I appreciate Ginty for bringing that up. And I also appreciate you, right? Because what you actually said, what you said is real, though. Like, even if we don't agree with it, it's nice that this discourse actually happens and we talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
what should, even if the idea is something we don't agree with, y'all didn't agree a second ago, it's important for us to at least have a conversation, because a lot of the times these kind of discourse and these conversations happen in a place that the world don't get to see, and we don't actually get to understand another person's viewpoint.
Yeah.
MLR needs to grow and go, and I'm with it, and whatever we can do to move it forward, I'm there for it. So
Pago.
Please don't go. I need a job, Major League.
facts. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we all need a job. Yeah.
Ginty,
Yeah.
man.
I think we're ready for a kumbaya moment.
Yeah, no, that kumbaya moment, like what I would say is, and me and Lance, we had this conversation like the other week, is that, we need to not be heard, you need to be seen.
Step
Right?
up.
Like, step the fuck up.
Step the
Get
fuck
on the
up.
front foot, do something. Like, I mean, I'm tired of hearing all these people got these ideas, they all got talk, they all got stuff, like, but get the fuck out there and do something. Right? Like, if you ain't out there coaching, if you ain't out there reffing, if you ain't administering, if you ain't doing nothing, if you ain't going to Hounds games, if you ain't going to wherever, if you ain't putting your money where your mouth is, shut the fuck up. Right? Because there's too many people out there that can run their mouth and not have to say anything, and that can just live off of it and are just point fingers at stuff, right?
Yeah.
But if you got point fingers,
Get out
right?
there.
Get out there and point the
Yeah,
fingers,
get out
especially where
there.
they do, but go do work. right? Go do work, because that's what we need in this country. We need to get back to work, right? We need to get to work as fans. We need to get to work as rugby people, right? We need to come out here. We need to have it. And,
listen, my wife,
I still got 3-hour drive home after this.
And she spends 4 hours pushing the league, pushing rugby, loving the sport, loving the boys, and it's paid dividends, but it has to take everybody involved in order for that to be.
Yeah, a lot of hands make small work for sure, man. So hey, Rant, man, I appreciate what you said. P, I appreciate what you said. Next Level Ginty, man, I appreciate what you said.
Amen.
We got a long way to go, but I think if we continue to have these conversations, we are on the road to success, right?
I think we got to run this back sometime, huh?
Absolutely.
Like so I mean, I think that like this opportunity for us to be able to sit here and talk and be able to like, you know, just hash these out have been great. I'm gonna have to shut this down because I said 10 minutes like 20 minutes ago, and I'd like to say the people, the people that you don't see on camera right now. I want to thank Grant and Jeff. Those are the two main Next Level Rugby guys. They're on the ground. Everything that you see that like happens is because these guys are putting in hard work. Jeff's gonna be here on the ground. Also, like we got a professional Cubs. This is a Cubs audio
professional
mixing
Cub announcer,
rugby, right? Yeah, and Major League Rugby wouldn't let us do the show for free.
Shout out to the MLR ambassadors. Those folks, Lance, you're part of it. Shout out to those guys because they keep the MLR together as fans.
Yep. So all right. So I'm gonna close this now. So y'all shut the fuck up and stop cutting me off, please.
We're hush.
Right. Yeah.
Big tournament tomorrow, gentlemen.
Washington Athletic.
Washington Athletic Club. That is the word.
I'm saying St. Louis Bombers, bro.
Bombers. All right, hey, but in all seriousness, though, hey, I appreciate you guys coming out here. This has been awesome. We're gonna have to run this back. We're gonna have to do this. I mean, originally when I started this company, it was for this discussion, and I've had to build shit. And now that I've got nice young props to do all the heavy lifting, which we proved the last couple days, we'll be good. So now I'm going to retire. I'm going to go back to Chicago. I will be off the airwaves. We'll see these beautiful faces. I know face made for radio later this week, over the next 2 days. And, thanks for tuning in. I think this was fun, and we're going to have to do it again. And Pago, last message.
Washington Athletic Club. That is the message.
The wrong message. Pago and Chongo, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Pushing.
We're good. No, thank you for having us.
Life
It was
is
lovely.
Great American Rugby. Check out the bio. Do your picks. Put your picks in. Select who you think gonna win. Much love to everybody in the club scene. Much love to these three gentlemen that sit next to me. Much love to the people behind the scenes. This is going to be an amazing weekend, and I can't wait for it to unfold. Catch us Saturday and Sunday. Bless.
Hey, tomorrow morning, 9:40 a.m., Fields 1, Field 2, kicking off. Getting ready to go. Action. Club Rugby Sevens. It's alive and well. The American spirit is here. The game is here. Let's fucking go!